Right then, welcome to another Weekend Warlords Friday Night Magic
Up.
with me, George, and
Kevin.
nice to see Kevin joining us for a change. Nick couldn't make it this evening, and Kev was a willing volunteer.
Yeah, stepped up.
Stepped up to the plate. So for our first match this evening, we're running a little bit behind schedule, but we have Justin versus Ben. So if we just start the round timer there, 45 minutes. These players are currently just shuffling up their decks, getting ready to begin. So, do you know anything about the decks these two are playing?
I don't actually. I don't know anything.
Neither do I. So it's going to be an interesting, interesting round. These are not players we've seen on the stream before.
No, I don't think so.
We've seen a lot of Alex Pegler. Seen some Matt Perry games.
Yep.
We've seen Rob play a game.
I've been on stream.
You were
as
on
well.
stream as well.
I got smashed. So that was a great one.
So why don't you take a minute to tell us a little bit about the deck that you played then last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was last week. It was green-white tokens in a chain whirler format. Excellent choice.
Oof, yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah, but you got Banalish Marshals in there. You got Chargers, Pride of Conquerors. Let's try and make them live.
So you have
usually,
ways to protect yourself from chain whirler.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't actually see chain whirler very much in this store. The only time you see it is when you play Sam, and I haven't played Sam in a while.
That's probably a good thing, because Sam has won the last couple of weeks in a row, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's just the power of chain whirler, isn't it? So, how does your deck win the game then? So,
Appeal to authority is the main killer.
is it?
So +X and trample. Target creature gets that for each creature I control. Make loads of tokens. Pump up my 1/1 double striker. It's only a 1/1, and you're not going to kill it. It's fine. It's a cat. You're not going to kill it. But no, it kills you. That's what it does.
Oof, goodness me.
And if all else fails, you just go wide.
Smash face.
Go wide, smash face. Banalish Marshal pumps everything up. Shalai has the ability to go into the long game and give everything tokens.
Yeah. So what is the other side of appeal to? So what's the authority side?
Authority is tap 2 target creatures, and all your creatures gain vigilance till the end of turn. So
imagine that could be quite relevant sometimes as well.
yes, definitely. Oh, you've got 2 big blockers. That's fine. You don't anymore.
So yes, that's more important against the kind of mono green type deck.
Yeah.
So you can tap down their most threatening blockers.
Or when Pegler has a Shalai out, or no, there was the game where he had Resplendent Angel and Lyra out. Tap them down, swing for the win.
Yeah, nice.
That's fine. No lifelink first strike for you.
So what do you like to see? What are your good matchups then? What?
I think I struggle against big creatures, mid-range creatures, because if I can't get through them, if I don't have the authority on my appeal, I just can't get through them.
Okay.
I like control as long as they don't fumigate me too many times.
Yep.
But otherwise, any other sort of tribal deck is not really much of an issue, I think.
Okay, interesting.
What I find.
What about bad matchups? Obviously, we spoke about chain whirler.
Bad matchups. Anything that runs too many settles and fumigates before I have my answers.
So control and chain whirler decks.
Yeah, basically the whole meta. The deck does all right though, because a lot of people don't really know what I'm doing. They're like, oh, you've got a Saproling. Oh, you've got a servo. What is this deck?
Saplings and servos is a bit of a weird combination.
And cats.
And cats.
And cats.
So here we go. We've got Justin versus Ben. We'll very shortly update the colours of deck that these two are playing. But players are just rolling off, and we're about to get going.
Those are 2 beautiful mats.
Evening Madrax, and hello to Hannah as well, with the lovely username I Love George. At Weekend Warlords.
If they can start that.
Yes, they certainly can.
You need to shut this door as well.
Of course, no worries. Players are just checking that they're able to get started. So, because they were just waiting for us to confirm that, we will give them a round extension of just a couple of minutes if it's needed. Let's see. So, players taking their opening hands.
Do you know what's interesting about that username? I also love George at Weekend Warlords.
Do you?
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely?
The other George.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Which George is that?
I don't know.
Oh, so there is no other George. Brilliant.
Oh, looks like we've got a red deck there. That's a Malta 6.
Right. And now, I think we did see Ben last week. I have a feeling, now that you've mentioned there's a red deck, I have a strange feeling that he might be playing Is It Pyromancer. So, that's just a guess right now. I'm not 100% sure. There's that chance.
I definitely saw some red.
So we'll just have to see how...
Yeah, that's definitely red.
He's got gutter snipes in there, like
yes.
his Drake's Charticles.
Oh, of course, I played against this deck last week.
He's keeping that hand. Only one land, one mountain, which hopefully will get him
We
there.
didn't see Justin's hand, did we?
We haven't seen Justin's hand. It's a mystery.
Ooh, I like mysteries.
We'll soon find out, though. Well, so, Ben's on the play.
Oh,
He gets to start off with.
good start.
There we go. It is Wizards, microchip. Is it Wizards on the one side?
Is it?
Ah, and
Oh, we got green.
I believe we've also seen Justin's deck before. I think this man is playing green-black, and there was a theme to it. Oh, what was the theme? It was a tribal theme, but I can't remember it now off the top of my head. Ah, green-black elves. Obviously, the Llanowar elf is on the field, but he was playing a number of other... He was playing a number of other elves to back that up. So we'll just update that. Because I could very well be wrong, but I have a feeling that that might be what he's playing.
Oh, what have we got there?
So,
Got to snipe.
Woodland
Charticles.
Cemetery for Justin. Let's see what he can play. Any powerful 3-drops, maybe?
Here comes a steel leaf. No.
Oh, he's
Is
only
it?
tapping
Is
2.
it? No.
Thorn Lieutenant.
Yep.
That's the good 2-drop. So it's a 2/3 for 2 mana, but it's got the key text of whenever it becomes a target with
Yep.
spell or ability, create an elf.
Yep. Elf maker.
Ooh, do you see what Ben just drew there?
Oh, yeah.
Adelies.
Adelies is. I tried to make an Adelies deck. Did not go well.
No?
No.
What happened? What were you
I
struggling with?
just made the deck badly, to be fair.
Did you? Oh,
But
very fair.
It was the card I wanted to build around first when it came out.
Ooh.
Oh, protecting from a lightning strike there. That's a good one.
And Thorn Lieutenant creates a 1/1 elf when he gets targeted.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a really bad...
So it should have created 2, shouldn't it? Or is it just target
It's just opponents.
Right.
So the Blossoming Defense doesn't actually get you an elf, so that's not...
That would be nice. You could just keep targeting and making your own elves.
Oh, that's true. That would be fantastic. So Ben here stuck on 2 lands. I wonder what he can do next. The Adelies can't come
I
down.
suppose he's going to need the charter course. Try and get into some lands.
True. Justin has built himself quite the wall from this.
Yes. I mean, the Lava Mancer's only a 1/2 at the minute. I can't see that.
It looks like a discard spell.
Oh, it's a duress.
A duress. So
Yep, taking the chart. Stop
taking
him
the
getting
only
some more.
target, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. But
Gutter Snipe Adelies, and I can't see what the third card is, but Charter Course is obviously powerful, help Ben digging his way out of this, but Justin seems to be
where's that advantage bar?
we do need an advantage bar, because the advantage bar would probably be strongly facing Justin, but we don't know what his hand is. So if this was everything he had, I think he's still in a stronger
Yeah,
position. But
can't quite see his hand.
now you see Ben's hand. You see he's holding those 3 cards upside down.
Yeah.
That's an interesting technique that I've recently started doing as well.
Oh, so you know what's been revealed.
You know what your opponent's seen, so you can sort of play around that.
That's interesting.
Ben drew the land.
At least discarding that charter course has pumped his Lava Mancer, of course.
That's true, very true. And the land being key to play Adelies, flying threats.
Yeah, good top deck.
So let's see. What can Justin do to follow this up? Because Adelies is very powerful and will let the game spiral out of control.
What have we got here?
Ah,
Thornwood?
a Thornwood Archer.
Thornwood Archer, that's the one.
So it's a 2/3 reach death touch. Reach very important against the Adelies.
Yeah, because Adelies is, even though he pumps himself in all of the wizards, he's still going to die to death touch.
So Ben really needs a removal spell here.
Oh!
And what's that, Kev?
Yeah, well, Wizard's Lightning. 1 mana as well. You mean Lightning Bolt?
It is Lightning
It is
Bolt.
Lightning Bolt, yes.
And he pumps with the Adelies now. So
Boom, boom.
Ben just put in the tokens there to
Yeah.
indicate the prowess prowess equivalent
Yeah.
triggers.
Not really prowess.
No. It's quick to throw that elf under the bus, I think. Yep.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
Re-
I think the advantage bar is going back the other way now.
It's amazing this. That land drop was key.
Yeah.
If Ben hadn't found a land drop, these cards would just be rotting in his hand.
And the bolt afterwards.
And the bolt.
Well, sorry, weird as lightning, of course.
It's definitely a lightning bolt.
It's definitely lightning.
So have you seen the new Snapcaster spell from Ravnica?
The blue.
The blue
Yeah.
target.
And it's got jumpstart, isn't it, as well?
It doesn't have jumpstart,
Does
but
it not?
it surveils you for 2, and then you get to cast a spell from your graveyard. It doesn't target, so you can't
So you
surgical
can't-
extraction or
yeah.
exile it in response. You just get to choose something else. So I think essentially we're going to be in a format where we have Snapcaster bolts.
Yeah, there's a lot of is it cards as well with the instant and sorcery matters.
It does seem that they're really pushing that kind of Spellslinger deck. I'm thinking, especially with the Braid having rotated out, that I might pick up a few copies of Primal Amulet.
Oh yeah.
Making those instances.
Copy all my things.
And-
And then you've got that double cast as well, haven't you?
Yep, when it flips, you double cast whatever you spend the mana from it on.
What was that?
I cannot see what that card is.
I think that's the one where it enters the battlefield. You take 2 damage, opponent.
No, because it
Forgot the
costs
name
3
of it.
mana. That card only costs 2 mana. It's interesting. I don't know what this card is. Hard to tell. There's a little bit of glare on the screen there. Sending an Adleys because it can't be blocked. So you can see what Justin played last turn. This down here.
Yep.
That is Marwyn the Nurturer.
Yeah, it makes a little baby.
It taps for a colour. Taps for green for its power, and it pumps whenever you play an elf. So
Yep.
there's going to be quite a lot of ramp between that and the Llanowar elves.
Yeah, what's he ramping into?
See, I feel like we've been here. We've watched this matchup before, and I don't think we've really seen any kind of ginormous threats. To be completely honest with you, I think we've mostly just seen value, lots of little creatures,
Yep.
lots of other ways to spend your mana, but nothing like in itself overly powerful. No kind of Palaka worms or anything ridiculously big.
Spoke too soon, maybe.
Elvish Rejuvenator,
Yeah, that's a good one.
that's the FNM promo.
Draw. Or is it the scry one?
It's the one that lets you reveal,
Yeah, that's the
look at the top 5 and reveal
Reveal
and put
creature.
land onto the battlefield. So it ramps you, but obviously pumping Marwyn as well, so it ramps even further.
Oh, we've got Hash of Oasis.
Hash Oasis could be very relevant. So
Have
Kev,
you got
what-
trample though?
nothing with trample at the moment. So what does Hash Up Oasis do then? Kev, you play that in your
Yeah,
blue and white deck?
play that. So 1 green, sacrifice it. Sacrifice the desert you control at sorcery speed to give a creature +3/+3.
Ooh, Justin playing another reasonably big thing. Oh, Reclamation Sage.
Yeah, no targets, but that's fine.
Still a
Still
2-1.
pumps up the.
Yeah. Justin just kind of vomiting forth his
Yeah.
hand.
That's what green usually does.
Ben's still in a strong position though.
It does have the
Justin
flyer.
hasn't found a way to interact with this flyer.
Is that the Fiashni?
Interesting. So he's still got the Gutter Snipe, and that is the Viashanu Pyromancer you were just talking about earlier.
That's the one I meant.
2 damage to Justin, dropping him down to 9 life. I think what Ben really needs here is to chain some instants and sorceries together, pump that team.
Yep. It looks like he's leaving them behind to block. He's expecting a.
Interesting. He's not getting in with that Adelies.
I would probably gone in with the Adelies.
I definitely would have. There's nothing with reach as far as I can tell. Thorn Lieutenant Marwyn. No, there's nothing there with reach. And
I'll get
Ben's got chump blockers for days on the big creatures.
does.
No, I'm afraid, Madrex, we don't have the iPad to hand, so we don't actually have the life counter, I'm afraid.
I was just thinking that as well, actually. I wish we could see it.
I'll tell you what, Kev, let me go and see if I can grab that iPad. Do you want to just chat through what's going on?
Sure. I'll try my best. Is he going in with that one? Nope, just making his mind up. Jump block in there. What's he got? What's Justin got? Has he got anything in his hand? Ooh, cast down. Gets rid of it completely. Take some damage here. Hopefully George will source that iPad soon so we can actually see what's going on. The life counters. What can Ben draw into here? Another Viashno, take 2 damage. Takes him down to 7. Ooh, I still would have chipped him with the Adderleys, I think. Because if he's attacked with the Adderleys that turn and last turn, would have been 4 more damage. Down to 3. Could have bolted him off a top deck. So what's Justin got? Is he going to use the Hasher? Can we find it?
I'm afraid not.
Oh. You can have your seat back, George.
Oh, thank you very much. Right.
I don't know if you saw that, but there was a cast down played.
Ooh, what did that kill?
That killed. I still can't remember.
It's
the
the
name.
card. It's 3 mana.
Journey Master? I forgot.
Journey Mage.
Journey Mage, that's the
Okay.
one.
So that's a 3/2 for 3 mana.
Yeah,
It
he
deals
did.
2 damage if you control another wizard, I
Yeah.
believe.
He declared it. Yeah, that's why I was thinking it did 2 damage. So he declared it as a blocker against Marwyn. He got cast down.
I see.
But he's still not chipped in with Adderley, so if he's chipped in twice, he would have been on 3.
Justin would have only been at 3 and dead to
And
a...
then top deck bolt, that's what I said.
Yeah, I would have liked an attack with Adderley's there. But
Well, last 2 turns as well, so what's going on here? Another chump block or just a block?
the good thing about Adderley's, though, is it does dodge that cast down, doesn't it?
It is legendary.
And you can imagine if you're Justin, you probably want to be killing Adderley's because that's the biggest threat.
What's this? Oh,
Pumping the Thorn Lieutenant, +4/+4.
oof.
So that is a big swing for 6 damage there. So I'm afraid we don't have the life counter tonight. It's on the iPad, which I don't have the code for, and John's not in this evening. But the life counter will be back next week. But we can see the players' life totals. We can talk you through it. So
See, lightning strike. That would have been. He would have been dead. Ben would have won the game if he attacked with Adderley's the last 2 turns.
So I think the best thing to do here is go for lethal next turn. You play the Gutter Snipe, hold back the lightning strike for the following turn.
Potentially.
You chump with the creatures that aren't Gutter Snipe and aren't Adderley's.
Yeah.
And then you've got lethal with the lightning strike, Adderley's, and Gutter Snipe next
Yep.
turn. Yeah, I like that.
That's what I would do, unless he's thinking of going for it now.
I mean, they're still dead. So if he shoots for 3 to his face,
If he attacks with everything, then Justin does have to block. Because the threat of lethal is real.
it's true. But
Yeah,
you're
it
only
looks like
trading.
he's doing that. He's doing the gutter sniper first.
I like it.
Is
It
he
gives
holding
you.
back? Yes.
I like it. Chump with the creatures that don't matter. Maybe win the game with the Gutter Snipe. Like it. Ben there,
Yeah. he's
gripping his last card.
I could do it.
Here we go. Can Justin find something? So what he really needs is a way to deal with Adderley's.
Or a way to trample.
Another duress would take the lightning strike away.
Taps 1 mana. Oh no!
Oh.
Oh, that's so sad.
Actually, I suppose the play we just mentioned doesn't play around duress very well. Here's an
Yeah, we did forget
alternative.
about
Lightning strike his face.
that. Yeah,
Attack with Adderley's for 3, drop into 1.
and then I'd win the next.
Still
next
have
turn
lethal
anyway.
next turn. But I suppose you're either playing around a removal spell on Adderley's or you're playing around a duress.
I still would have liked chipping him with Adderley's a few more times.
Yeah, me too. I think I would. You weren't under a massive amount of pressure earlier in the game.
No,
But,
and he wasn't blocking with him.
I mean, I still think the advantage bar's in Ben's camp.
I do believe so.
All he needs is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any other burn spell would finish the game for him. And actually, with that, no, he has to block, doesn't he?
So it's now got 2 counters.
It has, so that's a 3/3. So I like just chumping the Thorn Lieutenant here. Marwyn's...
Oh, he's taking it.
No, because he pumps the Thorn Lieutenant, gets him for 6.
Oh!
And that is lethal.
Yeah, that's game.
Oh, unlucky Ben. That is game over. Justin takes it down with the cheeky onboard trick. Ouch.
Yeah, should have blocked there, I think.
I'd have taken a chump on the.
Right,
on the Mutane there.
let's go investigate some sideboard theories, Sean.
Go on then,
See what's
Kev.
going on.
We'll send you out. Have a look at what both players are looking at sideboarding. Let's see what we can do. So last time we were here, Ben didn't have a sideboard. Let's see if he's had a chance to put one together, or maybe find out what Justin's going to be boarding. So, I mean, if the players do have sideboards, I'd imagine that Justin would be wanting to play some amount of duresses. Duress being very good. Probably some other cheap removal spells. Fatal Push is still in the format if he's playing Fatal Push. Ben, on the other hand, his deck seems reasonably well positioned to fight this game. Maybe take out some of the more aggressive low to the ground creatures like Gitu Lavamancer, maybe bring in some more spells that Justin won't be able to interact with. Interesting. So Kevin will report back in just a second. We'll see what he comes back to us with. I think I would probably rather be sat in Justin's seat in this matchup. He's got a lot of cards that are very good against this.
Ooh.
So, what have we got then, Kev?
Spicy sideboards.
Talk us through some sideboards.
So from what I've seen, Ben is bringing in 3 Essence Scatters and 2 Spell Piercers.
Essence Scatter is very good. Spell Pierce? Justin doesn't usually playing that many non-creature spells.
Yeah.
I suppose if you can hit like a Blossomy Defense at the right time.
Yeah, I guess that's what he's thinking. And Justin's bringing in some Vine Mares.
Ooh. Vine Mare's going to be very difficult for Ben to deal with.
For the life of me, I forgot what the other one was now. That's a shame.
That's right.
It was a good one. No, Serpopods.
Serpopods. So actually, both
their sideboards are negating each other in a way.
Well, it's interesting because, yes, Ben's bringing in counter spells to fight Blossoming Defense.
That was it. Justin's bringing another Duress in as well.
Yeah, but I did have a guess at potentially some more Duresses. I think... Who do you favour here? Justin took down game
Justin
1. You think so?
post-board.
Yeah, I think so
I think
too.
Justin post-board. Those Vine Mares will be very hard too.
And Serpapod makes those Essence Scatters.
Dead.
Yeah. I suppose you get Prowess Trigger off it in your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Not a great deal else exciting there. Although Serpapod, only 3 toughness.
Yes, but everything's uncounterable.
Yeah, but 3 toughness means...
Dies to bolt, yes.
It dies to bolt, dies to lightning strike. It's... Yeah, maybe... I mean, I could very easily see this game...
He pulled it out. He's not necessarily ringing into his deck yet, I'm not sure, but...
Interesting.
He definitely slammed those Vine Mares down out of his board.
I mean, plenty of decks in Standard do, and I could very easily see an argument for playing Vine Mare in the main.
It's a great card.
It's very powerful. It's 4 mana, 5/3.
Yeah, hexproof.
Hexproof.
Can't be blocked by
Black creatures.
I know. Not relevant here, obviously.
That seems like a lot of text. 5/3, reasonably good stats for a 4 mana creature.
Yep. And hexproof.
I feel like it'd be playable in its own right just with those lines, and then they just bolt on.
Yeah, can't be blocked by black.
Yeah, it's
Although
interesting.
I do like the look of the new Guilds of Replica card. That 6/6 hexproof for 4 mana, and then for 2 mana it loses. You can't play non-creature spells. 2 mana it loses all abilities. Any player can do this. Oh, you want to kill it? That's a 2 mana premium. Thank you.
That's very interesting. And then you can Blossoming Defense it.
Yeah. Well, not after rotation.
Oh, you're right. It does rotate out.
Yeah, but do you know who's really excited about getting a playset of those?
Linda.
Of
course she is.
Anything Stompy, mine. Oh, and I think it has trample as well, actually.
Linda loves her green and red.
She loves trample. She's so excited for the next one where Gruul's going to be there. It's like, yep, buy all the red-green cards.
So, if you were... I know you're not able to make it to the pre-releases this time, but if you were coming, which guild would you be choosing to play?
It has to be Boros. I've always been Boros. Anything with white and Boros. Legion.
I really don't like Boros.
Yeah, well, Boros. Oh, thanks.
Boros.
Although, to be fair, if Boros wasn't in the set and I could actually objectively look at all the guilds, I would definitely have gone with Dimmer.
Would you?
Yeah, the Surveil just looks great.
I'm thinking about going Golgari.
Undergrowth is good, is cool as well. Plus, I've got some good cards. Assassin's Trophy. That's some money in your pocket if you get that.
Well, it's interesting because the way they're doing these pre-releases is it's not just 6 random boosters. You get 5 boosters and a seeded booster.
Yeah.
So I'm playing the kind of sneaky game of if I choose Golgari,
Yep.
I'm more likely to open an Assassin's Trophy.
Yep. And one of the 2 planeswalkers, only 2 planeswalkers.
And one of the only 2 planeswalkers. So I also just love Golgari. My perfect deck is probably green-black control, a non-blue control deck I absolutely
You
love.
see, I'm just white. I've always white. Any deck I play has to have white in it pretty much.
So Ben got a hand, 3 lands.
Got his Essence Scatter there.
4, maybe
Sees-
4 lands. I see
Sees the
Essence
sideboard.
Scatter.
Sees the sideboard card.
I think it's a snap keep from Ben. If it is 4 lands, it's maybe a little too many. 1, 2, 3. It is 4.
Oh, he's got Bolt, Essence Scatter. Is that enough?
And a Viashanu Pyromancer. I think it's a keep.
Yeah, I think I keep that.
He just doesn't want to see any more
Yeah,
lands
that's
for the
what
rest
I'd
of the
say.
game.
It's unkeepable if he keeps drawing lands. Here we go.
Sam Cook 1-2-1.
So Sam Cook wins 2-1. He takes down Rick Eaglestone. That's our first result of the evening. With 20 minutes left to go.
Here we go.
So
Yeah.
we start with
the Viashnu.
that's it. Dealing 2 damage, dropping Justin down to 18. What can Justin follow up with? He didn't have to turn on Llanowar Elves this time.
No.
That makes such a big difference to these game plans.
Do you know what I'm also really excited about after? Oh, cast down, that helps. What I'm excited about?
What's that?
Shock lands. Shock into check land.
A shock
Yes.
into check.
At the minute, I've got to cycle land into a check land, which is a bit. Oh, here we go. That
Adelies.
was a good top deck.
That was. He doesn't
You
want to see
can-
more
You
lands.
can bolt next turn, pump it.
Oof.
What else have we got? You can Essence Scatter.
You
or
can
there's
bolt,
these-
hold up the Essence Scatter.
Yep. Or hold both up.
Interesting. I think you probably want to hold both up, I think.
Yep. Adelies triggers at any time, right?
It does. So
Good for defending as well.
you can.
Maybe that's why I was holding the Adelies back, but Adelies didn't. I still think he should have attacked last game. Is that a Steel Leaf?
That does look like a Steel Leaf champion to me.
Yep.
A 5/4 for 3 mana.
Yeah, Bolt doesn't help here.
But he can
He's
potentially
seen-
race it.
He is drawing lands though. Bolting him.
Bolt face, pump Adelies.
Swing for
3.
3 more, so that's 6 in total. I believe that is
Justin's
a
down
10.
to 10 life already.
And he's holding up the counter spell.
Ben has drawn 2 more
Yeah,
lands this
he
game.
keeps drawing lands. Oh, look at all those check lands.
Tell you what though, he might, if he can find some more instants and sorceries to cast in his own
He
turn,
can, yeah.
then he can race this Steel Leaf potentially.
If he draws another bolt, that's another 6 damage.
Oof, that is a lot of
Something
damage.
big. Here we go. He's got to slam
Void
that.
Mare,
Yeah, but he's got to slam that.
Essence Scatter,
Essence
obviously.
Scatter is
But what
is
is
dying to come out of his hand now, I think.
it? Oh, Justin, what are you playing? The anticipation is killing me.
I did ask Justin if he could show us his cards a bit, but I guess playing your own game is more important sometimes.
Absolutely, it is. It is the Void
It
Mare.
is the Vine Mare.
Come on, Ben. You don't need to think about this. You just slam it down.
Slam it down.
Oh,
Oop.
Essence Scatter.
Essence
that Void Mare.
Scatter. Bye bye, Vine Mare.
Thank goodness, because that would have been very difficult to do.
That would have been very, very dead. 15.
I mean, he's still having to race Steel Leaf
Matt Perry
champion.
wins 2-0.
Ooh, second result of the night. Matt Perry has taken down Luke.
He certainly
2-0.
has.
And Pegler wins 2-0.
And Pegler also.
Alex Pegler taking down Oliver Pass 2-0. So we only have 2 matchups left. Cedric versus Rob. Cedric Yin versus Rob Winterflood.
Cedric is borrowing my deck actually tonight.
Is he? So we
Yeah.
might be able to see some.
We may be
green-white
able to see my
tokens.
tokens. I can commentate on it from unobjectively.
Ah, looks like Ben's drawn yet another land.
Oh, indeed.
Oh, this is really good.
Cedric wins 2-0.
Ooh, Cedric wins with my deck 2-0. Of course he does.
Nice to see the green-white tokens doing well this evening. Oof, look at that.
Oh,
A
that's
second
2.
Steel Leaf.
This could be game soon if he draws another land.
The Wizard's Lightning.
What life is he on? 8. So he'll be down to 2.
Yes, that's not good
That's
enough.
not enough because he's dead on the next turn. I can't see Ben's life.
I think Ben's on 15 life still.
So he could do it. I'd go for it.
Oh, is he? No, I think he's on 10 life.
Well, it looks like he's...
Players revealing their hands. Looks like
he's...
Justin's won this. Ben, unfortunately, not quite able to find the win. Just drew far too many lands.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, my word.
3 lands off the top of the deck.
Oh, my...
Yes.
Yeah, that's 2-0 to Justin.
Very well done to Justin. Unlucky Ben.
That was unlucky.
Players talking through their sideboard choices now. Spell Pierce and Essence Scatters. Yeah, the Void Mare you were just discussing. This is pretty much exactly what you reported, isn't it? So, Justin versus Ben was our last game to finish, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So we can get the
round.
We can get the second round paired up. So let's create that next round. Create the matches. Let's see what we've got.
Ooh.
Let's get these printed.
I'll go let them know. Here we have it.
So let's have.
No, he's been on.
No,
No.
we've just. Oh, actually, we have not had these players on, have we?
No. That's
So
what I was
yeah,
thinking.
let's have Luke McKean and Rob Winterflood onto the.
What's with that paper?
Let's have them onto the stream. Let's see what they can bring us. So Kev, if you want to get
I'll be back in a bit.
Luke on my playmat,
Luke on the right.
yes.
Yeah, got that.
So we've just paired the second round. Current top table is Justin versus Linda. Justin Denham, Linda Vanderveen. Cedric Guillen, Matt Perry on table 2. Alex Pegler versus Sam on table 3. Ben Campsell versus Oliver Pass on table 4. And Luke McKean versus Rob Winterflood on table 5. Now, we've not had Luke McKean and Rob Winterflood on stream yet, so we're going to bring them down to have them sit up at the big table. And I'm just going to change the overlay. Luke McKean and Rob Winterflood on the stream. We'll just have to see what these players can come up with. Once again, these are 2 players. I haven't got a clue what decks they're playing. Now, it's interesting because we are only a very short period of time away from rotation. And that obviously leads to a pretty stale standard meta. Not the most exciting time, but it's a great time for people to wave goodbye to their favourite decks. Kev came down last week, played his tokens deck. He's been playing it for some time now, and is very aware of the fact that he's not going to be able to play it at this current iteration again. So he was deciding to come play that. We've seen some players also playing their Ixalan tribal decks. There's some dinosaurs, some vampires. Those tribes aren't going to rotate out, so they can play them post-rotation.
Right, rounds have been told.
So we've got
People
our
are sitting.
new players coming up. Luke McKean on the right, Rob Winterflood on the left.
Oh, I told them the wrong way around. I thought you said...
We can swap them
No,
round.
I thought you sure?
I've literally just one button to swap them round.
Oh, look at that.
So Luke McKean on the left, I should say, and Rob Winterflood on the right. So let's see what we can do. Do you know anything about these players' decks?
Luke... I think the last time I played him, he was playing some... Was he playing Knights?
Black White
Vampires?
Knights.
Yeah, I think he was.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
And Rob?
Well, I have no idea.
Could be absolutely anything. We'll find out very shortly. So it's a very nice playmat there on the left.
Yeah, I do like that one.
Chandra, the roaring flame. Look at those flames erupting out of her arms.
I do love Chandra.
It's your playmat, isn't it, Kev?
It is my oh, look at that, yeah! What a nice playmat.
Beautiful, beautiful choice.
Obviously, I got that at the Grand Prix, right? I didn't just buy it, of course.
I definitely did not get mine at a Star City Games Open in America.
You did, I saw you there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Oh, great.
You did really well that time.
Yeah, I won.
Yeah.
And that was when I got my first Pro Tour invite.
Yeah, it was.
I was. And here I am, 85 Pro Tour wins later.
Timer.
So we are just going to reset the timer. because next round is about to begin. So
I'll let them know they can start just in case.
that's absolutely fine. Players are just shuffling up. Hopefully it won't be too long before you bring you some more magic. There we go. Deck slammed down on the table.
It's quite exciting not knowing what's coming up, actually.
I know, I like it.
It does make commentating a lot more difficult.
It does make commentating difficult, but that was why
was.
we chose these players, wasn't it? Because we hadn't seen their decks on stream yet.
Yep.
So players just cutting. Let's see what we've got. Unhelpfully, they've both got the same colour sleeves. Or slightly off colour, slightly different sleeve colours, I guess.
I do like playing against Luke's decks, although I think actually he might have been... Was he I think he was on Is It Burn as well, wasn't he?
Was he? We might see another.
I honestly can't remember.
Is it Wizard's deck? Well, we'll probably find out as soon as the players play their first lands.
Yeah, that's the thing about Magic. You can tell what colour they're playing by the lands they play.
Oh.
Top tip.
Oh. So Luke's taking a mulligan here. He's oh.
Did I see a green?
I saw a white.
We're just colourblind.
We have no idea what we're seeing, I'm afraid. Let's see. So, looks like Rob's choosing to keep his hand of 7. Luke mulliganing to 6, hopefully no further. It's always more exciting when players have got a stacked hand. So what's the fewest amount of cards you have mulliganed down to and still won?
4. Playing Approach.
Approach of the Second Sun.
Approach of the Second Sun. Back before Exelon.
Yep.
I mulled down to 4 because I didn't see a single land till the 4, but I had 2 lands, 2 counter spells, controlled the game, and then played Approach twice.
Good start. Good start.
I was as shocked as my opponent.
Yeah. So 4 is also the fewest I have. No, that's a lie. I've mulliganed to 3 in modern once. My opening hand was probably the best 3 cards you can imagine. 2 copies of Eldrazi Temple and 1 Thought-Knot Seer.
Got a scry to the bottom there, and that is a pretty good. Yes, I'll take one of your cards on turn 2, and then just hope this lives. Oh, we've got red green.
Oh, Luke's playing dinosaurs actually.
Yes.
So we have Luke on red green
and we've got
dinosaurs.
Rob on white.
Interesting. So Luke is on red green. And
we've got the
we'll have to give
Master.
it just a moment longer to see if Rob has any other colours.
He'll be playing mono white, of course.
He could be.
My favourite.
So that's an Optech Hunt Master.
We've got Boros there.
Boros.
I didn't quite see that. Too shiny.
So this is your kind of deck, isn't it, Kev? Boros?
Red white, yeah, of course. Stop calling it Boros. That's insulting.
Why is it insulting? Boros is correct.
Oh, he's playing goblins. Is he?
It does look like it. That looks like a Goblin Instigator to begin with. 2 mana 1/1, but brings a 1/1 mate with him.
Yep. It's not bad for 2 mana. 2 bodies.
It's not the most exciting, especially not against this 1/2 blocker. But
Yeah, I guess. But we could also have a hasty dinosaur coming down now, or
Commune.
Let's just
no, this is the
commune. It's like commune with dinosaurs. You look and reveal a dinosaur or a land, I believe.
Let's see. What does he find? Anything exciting? Show us. Look at the top 5. Let's see, what's he revealing here? Regisaur Alpha. That's one of the best possible threats, isn't it, from the dinosaur deck?
Yep, that is a pretty... Gives everything. He doesn't even need to tap that now.
Oof. It is very good, that. So, Death Gorge Scavenger, just 2 mana. That's what it costs with the Hunt Master.
Yeah, everything's cheaper.
He's choosing to exile his own spell. Give it 1/1 and haste and attack for 3. For 4 even. It's a 4/3.
Chomp. Why not the token?
Interesting.
Oh, I guess potentially you could bring something back from the graveyard.
Potentially.
In red and white. In standard.
What's the 4 mana spell that gets back Godfarer's Gift?
Refurbish.
Refurbish can get a creature from the graveyard in white in standard.
I thought it was just an artifact.
I believe Refurbish can get back a creature or artifact.
Ah, interesting.
I could be very wrong. I'm happy to accept if I'm not. If I am.
Yeah, just artifact. Sadly.
Ah, okay.
Oh, we do have a Banalish Marshal out.
Pumping that goblin a little bit higher. That dice just representing the power and toughness of that goblin being 2 currently. Also provides quite a good blocker.
No, against a
That's
Death
true.
Coach though. It's a 3-2. You don't really want to.
And yeah,
Oh, he's going to abrade that.
another card that's going to be rotating out soon.
I do like abrade.
It's a very powerful effect. It would be playable even without the destroy target artifact
Yep.
ability, but
Just to give it that flexibility,
yes,
makes it see play everywhere.
it's very good.
In
I mean,
standard, in red decks.
not just in standard. It's in the sideboard of my red-green Eldrazi deck in modern.
Yes, of course. A lot of artifacts that matter.
It's also in the sideboard deck of my Legacy Rug Delver deck.
Oh.
A braid seeing play across all formats because artifacts
Do matter.
are very powerful, especially in older formats. And the problem is you can't devote an entire sideboard slot just to an artifact destruction spell sometimes.
Exactly. Oh, we've got a second Banalish.
Ooh. Still pumping that goblin up. Interesting.
Could attack, of course.
And it is.
Yep, it's probably not going to block that. He's going to want cheaper dinosaurs.
Luke dropping.
I'd rather have cheaper dinosaurs than 2 life.
Luke did miss a land drop though, didn't he?
Yeah,
So
it does look like it. Rob is on 4.
otherwise you could have played Regisaur Alpha this turn.
Now he's trying to dig to that land, I guess, now.
I suppose if you're not going to draw lands, then at least cards that let you find lands.
Yeah, well, thanks for showing us.
Looking like a root-bound crag there. That's exactly what he wants. Does he have a play to follow it up though? Anything for up to 4 mana with the Huntmaster?
You could play Rip Your Raptor.
That is the premium card, I think, for the dinosaur deck.
Let's
isn't
keep
it?
drawing cards.
Oh,
3 mana, 2 mana. Ooh, Drover.
Drover of the Mighty.
It's a 3-3 now. 'cause
That's
it's a
very
dinosaur.
powerful. It's a 3/3 for 2 mana.
And it's a mana dork.
And it's a mana dork. It looks like Luke's mana troubles are over.
Yeah, so much. Very much so.
So he's attacking with the 4/3 Scavenger, having exiled a spell.
Ooh.
Would you be blocking there?
I probably would. Well, I guess he could keep gaining life and keep making it bigger, but I like my Banalish Marshals.
I like them too. They seem to have
Especially
a
if
lot
you
of
have
value.
a token.
I suppose we don't know what Rob's got in the
Maybe
rest
he's
of
got
his
another
hand.
Banalish in his hand.
Ooh, Monument of Glory.
He does have another Banalish in his hand. Well, he could have had... The Banalishes could have been 5/5. Acknowledging the fact that we've noticed that as well.
Rob giving us a big thumbs up. Goodness me.
So that's why he blocked.
3 in a row. I suppose it doesn't leave Luke with anything particularly
And
exciting
it does
here.
stop the Drover being a 3/3 now.
That it does. Ooh.
Ooh. Warlord's Fury. Creatures you control gain first strike, draw a card.
Interesting.
Till end of turn.
Looking like he just wants to cycle that. I don't think the first... I suppose the first strike is relevant, actually,
Yep.
against those creatures. Rob getting aggressive
Even
now.
if he double blocked, he would have lived, yeah.
But Luke now gets to play a Regisaur Alpha.
Yeah, and that Register Alphas can be given haste by the Huntmaster, because he can swing in for 8 here. Oh, actually, he can swing in for 11 if he attacks with the Drover as well.
That's a lot of damage.
Here we go.
Luke just grabbing Dinosaur Token and... You giving it haste?
aggressive.
Smashing? Yeah.
How aggressive is he being? Yep, he's given that haste.
Tap with everything.
I'd probably swing at everything, yeah, there we go.
10 damage coming across there.
No, the Register was a 4/4, yeah.
Oof.
What does he do now?
I would probably want to block the Dinosaur. I don't think you can just take the damage. You're at too low a life total for
Yeah.
that. And you don't want to just chump to save yourself 1 more damage.
I think I personally would, if I was going to trade, I'd take the Drover.
But if you can keep other dinosaurs off the field, then the Drover shrinks down again.
But it does, he can play a 6 mana dinosaur.
Yes, and something like a Carnage Tyrant would be
Yes,
brutal here.
would be just, yeah, I think for me that's the block I would have made.
Suppose it saves the same amount of damage as blocking the Dinosaur Token, but you remove potentially a more useful creature. Interesting.
What's he down to there? Is that a...
It is a low life total. Now,
What did he draw?
The problem for Rob is that Boros is normally quite an aggressive.
Yeah, and if you're on the
Colour
back
pair.
foot,
It's not a fantastic position to be in. So Rob has drawn the full playset of Benelish
Good playset.
Marshals. I think he needs something else to follow it up though, doesn't he?
what's he got? Yep. Yeah, he's making his marshal indestructible.
That does make it quite
The
difficult to
bodyguard.
attack. Because you throw the bodyguard in front of the alpha, the marshal in front of the dinosaur, then sack it, and
Yep.
just eat the dinosaur for free.
Yep. And then save the damage from the alpha.
Yeah,
Then now if he top stacks a Carnage Tyrant, he's going to be upset because he can't play it.
very true. Yeah, I see the argument for blocking the Drover. Yeah, I think that probably was the correct decision. What's Luke doing?
Oh, well, it's back now, but at least he can't tap from mana this turn.
Now the Drover, not overly exciting. And oh, a fight spell, Savage Stomp. Put a counter on the
Now if he
dinosaur.
sacrifices that, the spell should fizzle so he wouldn't get the counter, surely.
No,
Or is
so,
it put the counter first and then target?
well, the way it works is with a fight spell you have to target 2 creatures, and a spell will only fizzle if all its targets go. If a spell still has a legal target, then the spell will resolve. So the dinosaur will still. So he gets to block for free because
block.
the bodyguard was
Yeah, it
sacked.
looks like he did sack it in response, yep.
I think what Rob needs here is a big token generator. Something like a. What would do it here?
Sham's expertise.
Yeah.
He's not probably not running that.
I mean, it would fit with the rest of the deck. Even just sacking the monument gets him 2 1/1s, which are
Yep.
2/2s.
True.
Let's see. What can Rob do here?
We don't know what's in his deck, of course, otherwise we could.
Make some
Have a
educated
think.
guesses, but we can make some guesses based on the fact he's playing red and white, kind of go white tokens.
Heroic reinforcements, is it?
It
To
is.
make some soldiers.
Create
So
2 1/1s, pump everything 1/1, and gives everything haste as well. I still think he probably has to hold back to block, doesn't he?
Yep. I do like that soldier art. It's one of my favourite ones.
Which one's that? The one on the right?
The token one holding
Yeah.
the sword to the moon.
Oh, I see the one on the left. That is quite nice, actually. Not as nice as the night token, the one with the stained glass in the
that's
background
just,
from
that's just
History
gorgeous.
of Benalia. That is fantastic.
Looks like he's swinging.
Wow, that is very aggressive.
Now, if there's no blocks declared, does he live? Which is
So he would trade with the Drover here, and trade with the dinosaur. Interesting. Oh no, he doesn't trade with the dinosaur. With the dinosaur still lives, but the Drover. He trades with the Drover. The Drover's a 3/3, and so is that soldier. Do you want to just let them know that that's the case? So that's just Kev going out to confirm whether or not that Drover should be dead or alive. Because we believe heroic reinforcements pumps +1/+1 as well as the Benelish Marshal, making that 3 powered. So that Drover does go to the graveyard. So we're just confirming that with the players, but that does appear to be the correct.
I think it's the wording on the card, because the card says create 2 1/1 soldiers, then your creatures get +1/+1.
Yes. So it does in fact pump the tokens it creates, which is important.
It does have Ripjaw though. Is this
Attacking for
lethal?
12?
Yeah, that was lethal anyways, but
I suppose if you're Rob, you weren't in a fantastic position there. The dinosaurs deck can just overpower you.
yeah.
I suppose he has to go in fast and underneath the dinosaurs before.
I think he did. He flooded out a bit.
he did. He
Didn't
definitely
really help.
did.
Is if you're playing an aggressive deck and you've got your good tokens coming out, you've got your Benalish, but then he just kept drawing Benalishes, I presume. Which, whilst are good, you want if you're going aggressive, you want more creatures. You don't want the same creature 4 times in a row, I think.
That's true, and it's interesting because the only thing I would say about them is Rob was very keen to chump block early in the game. He chump blocked with his 1/1 Goblin Instigator.
Yep.
And he chump blocked with.
With 3 Banashes.
Well, he
Some
traded.
of them traded, I guess, yes.
But if you'd have kept one of those marshals back, the next turn you play another
You
one,
would
they
have
pump
fought
each other.
fours. Yeah.
So maybe Rob was slightly quick to chump block there. At the end of the day, your life is a resource.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you win at 1 life.
The only life point that matters is the very
It's the
last one.
point.
So that's probably quite a good lesson to learn. I, on the other hand, am very eager to use my life.
Oh, yeah. I sometimes I use it too much.
One of my favourite cards is Greed, and in Standard, the equivalent of that is Argul's Bloodfast. Pay 2 mana,
yes.
pay 2 life, draw a card.
Yeah, you did have that really spicy green-black deck with Argul's Bloodfast in it. Get all your life down, and then start
Yeah.
killing your own stuff to bring your life back up, of course.
It's quite useful.
I did like that deck.
My deck generated a lot of value in tokens with things like
Pirates from Vraska, I think it was.
Pirates from Vraska, Zombies from
The
Hour of Promise.
Hour of Promise.
And you could just gain 2 life,
Yeah, doesn't
sack
matter.
them, block, sack,
Yeah.
block, sack. Just keep grinding out value till the end of time.
Yeah, that was a really bad matchup for my tokens. I remember that. I could not beat you with my tokens deck in that deck.
I tell you
Just
what,
because everything you had was a 2/2 or a 3/3 or a
Yeah.
Vraska where you put me down to 1 life,
true.
which was helpful.
Of course, appeal to authority at the right time doesn't matter about any of that.
No. I did win a game on turn 3 or 4, I believe. I think it was more 4.
Oof.
Having
Wow.
played a cat, played some tokens, appealed 2 turns in a row.
So this is a better start for Rob.
That
Tell
is the
one
start you
Dauntless Bodyguard. It's a 2-powered 1-drop. It's a good start. This deck really wants to curve out, probably more than any other deck. Just wants to keep playing thing after thing in the first few turns of the game.
So do we have the Goblin Instigator turn 2, do we?
It's got the mana for it. Have you got attacking first? Clever, clever.
Oh, almost saw his hand there.
Anything
I
else?
think I saw a Regisaur Alpha in that hand.
Just a pass. Nothing else for Rob.
Holding up a lightning strike, perhaps.
Always a possibility. Kill something like a
Yeah,
Huntmaster.
kill that. Kill it with fire, if you can.
Oof,
Nope.
No way to kill it. And because it blocks the bodyguard quite well as
Yeah.
well. Would you be happy to trade it off for the Huntmaster? Would you attack?
I would definitely attack into that because he's not going to block, and you've got 2 life. And although at the same time you then can't block, you then can't block against a hasty dinosaur next turn.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's giving first strike and draw a card. Don't forget to draw the card.
Even better. Now, essentially, you give Luke no choice. You're not going to
Yep.
block first striking 2-1.
You
Just rearranging his tap. Doesn't want to tap the full
He
90
doesn't quite
degrees.
tap
Ugh. That kind of.
at least he's playing his lands at the back.
It could be worse.
So when you tap, do you tap to the left or to the right?
I normally tap to the right.
Good, because that's what the card says.
Sometimes I will alter the angle
When you're playing me,
just to annoy my opponents. Sometimes,
Yeah, me.
sometimes tap some opponents left, some opponents right.
you
Just
just
mix and match.
just chaotic, aren't you? He's
So
giving
this-
that. He's giving that haste again. We've seen this before, I think.
We have, but Rob's got a response.
Boom! That is
Seal away.
Yes, sealed away. He slammed that down.
Oliver 1-2-0.
Ooh, we have a
Well done,
result.
Oliver, beating Ben 2-0. Oliver 2-0 against
Yep.
Ben. Very well done to
Cliff
him.
top retreat. Not seen any bananas this time.
He hasn't got the
Well,
white
yeah,
mana
I
for it,
guess,
has he?
but
That's the problem
Four.
with playing it in a 2-colour deck.
oh, some more,
Reinforcements.
and that does make that bodyguard a 3/2 now.
That's 7 power attacking in this turn. Ouch. Knocking
Smash.
Luke down to 9 life, I believe. That's right. 9 life it is. That card, Heroic Reinforcements, probably one of the best cards in draft in M19.
I can see that.
The red-white Boros aggro deck was probably one of the better decks in the draft format.
What's he hunting for?
I think
What are
he
you
might
gonna-
want to land, is my guess. He's only got 1 green mana at the moment.
I did definitely see it. I believe I saw what did I call it? Regisaur Alpha in his hand at the start. Thank you.
Ooh, but here's a tap land.
Yep. I guess that gives him access to his second green.
It does, but not this turn. Interesting.
But that is a register next turn.
Of course, Luke could be down to a very low life total by next turn. He might not have that long.
Especially if there's another heroic off the top,
I think
or a heroic in hand.
Luke would probably just be dead to that card, I
Yeah,
think.
pretty dead.
Interesting. Let's see. So he plays the Shelter Thicket and just passes straight back. He might have an Abrade or a Lightning Strike or something to maybe hold off some of this damage. Let's see what Rob can find.
Could have a Banalish here.
He certainly could. It looks good against the 1-2 blocker, certainly.
Mm. It's just strange not seeing Banalish, seeing that we saw the whole playset last game.
We did.
They're all at the bottom of his deck now, you see.
They're all been shuffled next to one another.
We have
Four
another
mana.
heroic. Yep.
Ooh,
I think that's just
that could just be game. 2, 4, 6, 8.
so he can.
11 power. You can block one.
Well, he'd block the biggest one, being a 3/2.
It takes 8, so he would drop to 1. He would survive.
Unless, of course, he can kill something here.
He's got an Abrade.
Yep.
Kill the big thing. But he can't
He's still in a pretty
chump
bad
though,
position.
because otherwise he can't play Regisaur Alpha.
Yeah. But
So it still puts him to 1.
I suppose that Regisaur Alpha will then eat everything.
No, because you're at 1. You're okay. He's deciding to take the chump block
Yep.
and takes 6 down to
Oh, what's he
3.
got? Charge. +1/+1.
Wow, charge.
I play charge as anti-chain world attack. Wow.
Very well done to Rob there.
That was great.
That was a much more
That
aggressive.
is what that deck wanted to do.
That's your kind of deck, isn't it?
I love that. That's what I want to build post rotation.
There's some very good cards.
I do want to build a Boros deck. I want some Aurelia in there, perhaps. But the thing is, I love Boros, but I don't think Mentor's that good.
Mentor, I think, is a surprisingly good ability, because not that the ability itself is so good, but because it's strapped on to creatures that are good
Costed anyway.
costed anyway. You'd play it without Mentor, and the Mentor's essentially just a free ability.
I do like Tajik, or Tejik, I forgot his name. The legendary.
What does
the
that one
legendary
do?
Boros. So he has Mentor.
Yes.
He has prevent all non-creature damage to other creatures you control.
It stops Chainwheller.
It stops Chainwhirler. Hello. I love anti-Chainwhirler tech. Although Chainwhirler is probably going to be seen a lot less with the core of that red deck being rotated out.
And that's true. Ravnica is all about the 2-colour combinations, and
It's good to see hybrid mana back as well.
it is. That is something I very much like. I like mechanics that improve consistency. So hybrid mana lets you play cards more easily because it's in a way fixing. But also I like cycling because that's another way to.
Cycling is going to be out though.
Cycling will be rotating out. I wish that should be an evergreen mechanic. No, sorry, bud. So the other Boros card. What do you think about the removal spell? The red-white,
The Justice Strike
the one that target creature
deals
deals.
damage to itself.
Yes.
Well, yes, I do quite like that. You can kill, but if you target a Lyra, they'll still gain the life.
They will still gain the life.
But you kill a Lyra.
But what other spells can take down a Lyra and Boros? Not that many.
Well, seal away, settle.
If they're attacking, but they don't want to attack.
Hmm.
And Boros, you don't necessarily
You
always
do
want
have
to play settle.
You
'cause
do
it's-
have the Tribunal, the new cast down, not cast down, cast out, the Convoke card.
True. That does work.
And there is the 4 mana one in M19 as well. I forget the name.
But all those
Escapes me.
cards you're talking about
Yeah,
are
they
twice
don't
as
really
much
want
mana.
4 mana. Oh, here we go.
Wow, that is
In for
aggressive.
the Goblin. Love that
Fanatical
Goblin.
Firebrand. Talk about aggressive cards. It doesn't get any more aggressive than
Yeah,
that.
well, it's a shame he was on turn 2
True.
because I guess he was playing his planes, so his cliff top would be untapped.
True.
Now, if only it was a Shockland.
Nah. A Shockland would have helped.
Oh, he has had the Autopack on turn 2 and 3 all 3 games so far.
That's true. And it does block that Fanatical Firebrand.
Yep.
Oof. What else are we looking at here?
Here's a Banalish.
That would be good to attack through. There we go.
go. 5 Banalishes in about 12 turns, I think.
We might just have to check that Rob's only got 4 of them in there.
Yeah.
Seems like he might have about 15.
Yeah, I think it does actually.
So are you aware whether or not Linda's arrived yet?
Linda has arrived. Indeed.
Thank goodness.
Yes, no problem.
So Justin does have an opponent.
Justin does have an opponent.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it.
We've got the Drover out.
Which is still crucially only a 1-1.
Oh, the braids that.
Leaving this goblin in a very awkward position.
I would needs to take the counters out now, I guess.
But the Huntmaster's getting frisky.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm calling it. It's another Banalish.
Plus a charge. Plus a bodyguard to protect it.
Yep. Or a heroic interventions, I believe, could be on the cards.
No heroic intervention.
Oh, good card.
Wow. History of Benalia is more powerful than any of those cards, I think. That is very good. I'd definitely be attacking this.
Oh, and he's got
Goblin.
the right token as well.
Oh, the one with the stained
It's
glass.
Ooh. Oh, I guess he's only a 1-1. I forgot Drover was only a 1-1.
It is only a 1-1.
Well, that probably would have just pinged it.
Does give Luke access to 6 mana
Yeah, I
this
probably
turn.
would have just pinged it. 7 mana.
I wouldn't have pinged it. I think it's too important to keep creatures on the board.
Yeah, I guess in this kind of deck. Does bring out a
Ouch.
Ripjaw,
That is...
giving it haste.
Wow, that's very aggressive. Attacking for 7 here, though.
See, or you could have kept it up and pinged the Drover in response to the Ripjaw.
Yeah, I still like keeping the goblin back. I think the way that Rob wins is by getting super aggressive.
Yeah, and I guess he's got an empty board here to attack against.
He does have an empty board. I don't think he can do the 16 points of life required, but disappointing second night token.
I think that's a game lost there.
We best let the
Of course,
players
we
go.
don't. Yeah, we don't have that FNM really, do we? What was that? The instigator?
That looks like a goblin instigator to me. So he's going wider and wider. So maybe Rob's powering up to a really big next turn. History comes off. Maybe you add that to a...
Heroic intervention. No, not heroic intervention. Oh, he does seal away the Ripjaw.
That is exactly the removal spell you need against that card.
Yeah, no card for you.
And he gets in 3 points of damage here, basically.
Mm.
Not even needing to tap that knight due to the vigilance.
And the next turn, of course, those knights become 4/3s.
Oof. Which then, if you pair it with something like that, heroic intervention, it
Well,
becomes...
it's not heroic intervention, is it? It's reinforcements. That's
Heroic
we
reinforcements.
keep calling it the wrong one. Heroic intervention, of course, is the 1 green, all your permanents gain hexproof and indestructible.
You're absolutely right. It's heroic reinforcements.
Yep. We do know he's playing red-white.
Maybe it's sneaky attack, 1 forest. And
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
What have we got here?
4 mana for another Ripjaw Raptor, maybe?
Would be a good choice. Oh, Savage Stomp. Paying full cost, obviously.
Not particularly exciting here.
It does get rid of a
Yeah,
knight, which gets bigger, I guess.
true, but still doesn't trade with a knight next turn. But he just
He
gets to
braids
kill
the
it.
other knight.
That is
That was a-
disappointing.
Disappointing for Rob, of course.
Of course.
Luke is probably giddy.
Still, Luke's not in a great position. He's at a high life total, but he doesn't have much of a board
No,
going
he
on.
does need to draw a big dinosaur.
Although Rob's board not not exciting either.
Legion's Landing.
He can flip that this turn if he likes.
Would you sacrifice 2 of your creatures?
You only have to sacrifice 1. You
Well-
trade with the Drover.
Yes, I suppose. But you'd
And I definitely would, because you're only chumping 1, and then you get to
keep
create
building.
1.
Yep. And the lifelink, of course. I would go, yes, he's doing it. Trigger.
Flip that Legion's Landing. Luke just going to eat that goblin up. Nom 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 nom
Yep.
nom.
Stops it pinging a drover later.
True. So that seemed like a fair trade for me. Rob essentially replaces a 1-1 goblin with a 1-1 lifelink vampire.
Seems like they've got a query.
Interesting. Looks like the players are just checking something here, making sure exactly what happens.
Yep. He was right to flip that first.
He was right to flip that, if that's what they're discussing.
He can't do that because it's already been declared as an attacker.
That is correct. So, yes, that Fanatical Firebrand cannot be used to ping the Drover because the Firebrand requires to tap as its ability. And because it's already tapped and attacking, it can't be used in that way. So, we just sent Kev out to confirm that with the players. That Drover of the Mighty is still in play because the Goblin is unable to sacrifice itself. So Drover has to come back to the battlefield. And the Firebrand still dies. That is correct. We have just corrected that board state. And looks like Rob has immediately tapped the Legion's Landing to create a second Vampire token.
So what they were discussing there was...
if you could ping, but he couldn't because it was
no, I
tapped.
don't think that's what it was. Luke was saying he took down his life before he attacked because he was expecting it and wasn't going to block. But yeah, of course, he didn't realise that tapping was part of the cost, obviously, which
It absolutely
I've
is.
done
so.
that. I've done that, to be fair. You get excited. Oh, no, it's already tapped.
Well, the other thing is also that there is another card, Goblin.
Or is it the one that just be pay 1 mana, sacrifice
No,
it?
you don't even have to pay 1 mana. You just sack it and ping something.
Oh.
It's essentially, it's very similar. It's a 1 mana 1/1,
Ooh, draws a Ripjaw from a commune.
and he does have the mana with the Drover to play it.
Yes.
That would tap him down from a blocker.
You don't need to pay... Yep,
He's aware of that. Looks like
of course.
the Ritual Raptor does put up quite a big wall against Rob's board
Is
of
he going to
little
haste it?
creatures.
He is
Wow.
hasting it. Nope. Changed his mind.
Yeah,
And of
that's
course,
fine.
FNM, that's not a problem.
To be fair, he did not.
Let go of his card.
Well, yes, he
Or
was just
declare
thinking
it.
about what he wanted to do, so there's nothing wrong with him doing that. Even if we were a competitive tournament, he didn't declare his intentions there. He was just moving around his own cards. Another Marshal.
Another history.
Ah, another very powerful card. It did take Luke 2 full removal spells to deal with those knights.
It's just the value it gains.
I suppose Rob's now wanting to build up a big enough board to
Play
get
it.
round
And he's left up a surprise vampire blocker if he needs.
that he has. Though I don't think you really want to be blocking that Ripjaw Raptor, do you?
We just keep taking 4.
So Luke's counting up his mana. Must be something reasonably big here. Wow.
Oh, yikes.
7, 8,
And
9,
that
10, 11.
is going to be given haste.
Wow. 1, 2,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah, he's paid the
8.
right mana there.
Has he 4 power? 5, 6, 7,
One,
8,
one-
9,
one
10,
reduction from
11.
one reduction from the
You're right. Yep.
Master.
It was actually the counter on Huntmaster I was missing for the extra power.
Ah, yeah.
But yep, you're absolutely right. He has tapped the right amount of mana.
So
If you're Rob here,
you let Galta
16, 17, 18, 19, so you have to block something. You're only at 17 life.
through, I think, and you chump the Ripjaw.
It does give Luke another card. You're dead next turn anyway, so
You can gain life with a vampire by chumping the Ripjaw. Hope to
I don't think you
win
want to
next turn.
draw Luke into a removal spell. I think you chump the Drover. You chump the Drover with a lifelink vampire. Then that gives you the ability to... You take then a total of 12 plus 4, 16,
16.
less 1 for the lifelink, 15. Rob drops to 2, but then he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers to attack back with next turn. And, I mean, Rob really needs a pump spell here. And ideally he needs a heroic
Yep,
reinforcements.
I think that would do it next turn.
Interesting. We'll have to see what he chooses to do here.
It's been an interesting match, though, I think.
It has been very interesting. It's been very swingy,
Yes.
back and forth. Now,
Ooh, no blocks.
looks like he was at... It looks like he was at high enough... No, he's choosing to block. Interesting.
Oh. Oh.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting that.
I was definitely not expecting that. So Rob loses his entire board here. What could he possibly have now? Fumigate? I mean, if that to me that only makes sense. Those blocks, if he got something like a fumigate. in his hand.
Obviously, I think Luke has forgotten to draw his card off the ripjaw there.
But that is his own trigger. He is allowed to forget his own trigger.
Yep. What is Rob's plan?
All I can think is it has to be a fumigate. A fanatical firebrand will not do it. And he's creating a vampire. That will not be enough against that Golter.
I think Rob's dead here.
It's certainly looking like it. He doesn't even have the mana up to bluff, say, a Settle the Wreckage or something.
No.
Luke very enthusiastically attacking with everything.
Yep. There we go, and that's 2-1 to Luke.
So I'm not sure how I felt about those blocks there from Rob.
I don't.
So is that
I'm not
2-0
quite
to
sure.
Luke
I
then?
believe it was 2-1 because Rob did go super aggressive in game 2.
You're right. He absolutely did. So 2-1 to Luke. Very well done there to Luke. We just saw him Golter crush.
Golter does do that.
Yeah.
I mean, a 12-12 trampler is a bit of a beast.
Absolutely it is. Yeah, so as we were saying, I don't think I like those blocks there from Rob.
No, I'm not quite sure.
He had enough life total left where he didn't have to throw his whole
I would
board
have,
on them.
I would have taken. Obviously, it was. We don't know what was in his hand. Maybe he just knew he had nothing.
But he still had to draw off the top of his library.
True.
If by blocking the way he did,
If he did draw into the heroic reinforcements, he would have regretted that.
absolutely. But what was he drawing to? He was obviously trying to preserve his life total as much as possible. I suppose his line of play makes sense if he does have cards like Fumigate in his deck.
Yeah.
But I can't see that in the aggressive.
No, you wouldn't want to kill your own deck.
1-2-0.
Linda 1-2-0.
Linda taking down Justin 2-0. Very well done to Linda.
Alex 1-2-0.
Alex 1-2-0.
Alex Pegler beating Sam Cook 2-0, was that?
Yep.
2-0. Very well done to
2-0 or
Peg.
2-1?
Sorry?
2-0.
Who?
Alex.
Alex 1-2-0.
Nicely
And Luke
done.
1-2-1.
And
Yep,
yeah,
that's cool.
we got that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks.
Very well done there to Alex
Alex.
Pegler winning 2-0.
So it's just Cedric and Matt left.
Cedric taking some amount of time to finish his games.
Well, the tokens deck can get complicated.
It
If
is
you,
very long.
if you want to know, do I appeal now? Do I appeal later?
Depends what's the most appealing.
Yeah, set you up there. It's like I set you up, George.
So yes, we're just waiting for Cedric versus Matt Perry. Matt Perry currently has 2 standard decks together as far as I'm aware. Don't know what he's playing today. It's either
Well-
Sultai Muldrotha,
Well, that's what he played at the store championship,
and it's a very, very
and
good.
he played
deck.
against my tokens deck round 1 actually.
And
Unluckily for him, he kept drawing lands. Although he did get the one combo off with the Bane Whip, where when it enters the battlefield you put -1/-1/-1 counter, and there's Muldrotha, and he just kept killing my tokens over and over. But that was the only permanence he saw that game.
that's really tough.
They were
Wow.
good. They were good games.
Yeah. The other deck he's got is a Grixis Dragons deck.
Oh yeah.
Blue splash, only there for the main man himself, Nicobolas.
Nicky B.
Absolutely. Mostly red-black dragons. We'll have to see what he's playing today. I don't know which one of those two he would have brought with him.
I have no idea. I think he's favouring the Muldrotha one at the minute.
Is he? I prefer the Muldrotha one. There's a lot
Is-
of excitement in that.
I do like it when it goes off.
Have you heard the bad news about Brawl though?
Yeah, that's made me upset. Although it's not stopping us from playing, I guess.
It's not stopping us from playing, but
Well, it's not being sanctioned on MTGO
that there's a reason for that, though, Kevin.
because the queues were very long, I believe.
Because nobody was playing it.
That's why the queues were very long.
Absolutely.
I do like a good brawl, but I guess the people who like those kind of decks, the commander players, the reason they like them is that it doesn't rotate.
Yes, that is a big problem. But they weren't trying to tackle those players. They were trying to tackle more your regular standard players, the people
Who have the cards anyway.
Yeah, like
Perfect like
us.
me, yes.
And fancy building sort of a Commander Light
I
almost.
did have a Kambal deck with an infinite combo in there
Oh, that was very annoying.
for my sins.
which is impressive. Infinite
Yes.
combos and standards.
No one thought I was no threat to anyone until bang, you're all dead.
Well, that
So
seems to be.
it's centered around Famished Paladin, giving it lifelink, and the wand, where it taps to
Pings
do one
it.
damage.
Oof.
So it pings for lifelink, untaps. Pings for lifelink, untaps.
Infinite pings.
Infinite pings.
Very good.
Until I want to stop, of course.
So mine was a Joyro deck. You saw me play
Yes,
that.
that. Joyrus Storm.
Just playing card after card after card, artifact after artifact, drawing you card after card,
Yep.
and generating huge amounts of mana because Paradox Engine untapping all your mana
Yes,
rocks.
that was fun.
And then eventually,
Didn't you win a 4-player game on turn 4?
I did win a 4-player game on turn
Pegler a
4.
bit salty.
I did. So that deck
Sorry,
has
Pegler.
2 main win conditions.
Yeah.
One is your Aetherflux Reservoir,
Yes.
and the other one is because you generate so much mana, you can get a big enough walking ballista to kill people.
Yep. I think I saw that one. I think that's what you did in that game, wasn't it?
I think it was. That was, yeah. But no, we have to wave goodbye to Brawl as a format, it seems like.
I'm still happy to play it. Of course, I did quite like it. It was also good for me in the fact that I like Commander, but there's just too many cards to pick from. Frankly.
And it's a lot more expensive.
Yeah. Unless you make a bad deck.
Yes. But then that's the joys about Commander, is that it can be as casual or as competitive as you like. You
Yeah.
don't have to build the most outrageously combo-y turn 2 Johnny Hall type deck.
I wasn't going to say that.
You can. The great thing about Commander is you can just pick up a pre-con. And
I've got a mono white commander, obviously white.
your favourite colour?
It's I believe it's board white tribal
Wow.
because I like games to last long, and have no friends.
I like the games to last long as well. My favourite deck was a Feldergriff Group Hug deck.
Group hug, I did like that one.
It had no win conditions. It just existed to keep the game balanced.
And of course, no one attacked you ever.
Well, yeah, because I was no threat to anyone. People just drawing more cards. I was wiping the board if one player got too far ahead.
And then didn't you approach the second sun twice and win a game once?
I did once. I put one. Eventually, managed to find my way into one win condition, which was yes, one copy of Approach to the Second Sun in there.
Which obviously you only need one because it tucks itself back in.
Yes, but the deck still wasn't designed to win the game. Sometimes it just happened.
Yeah.
Mostly it was there just to keep things balanced.
Neither is mine, to be fair. I rarely ever win. But again, no one attacks me because I don't usually have much on the board.
Yeah. Like it. I mean, but what do you think about... Obviously, the pre-constructed commander decks are very popular. People like those. It's a good way to get into the format. And you can just pick them up and start playing immediately, or you can spend time and money to upgrade them.
To upgrade them, yeah.
Do you think that Brawl would have been more of a success if Wizards had released pre-constructed Brawl decks?
I think with the card pool being so narrow and the fact that it has to be standard legal, the good thing about the commander decks is that they do make specific cards just for that one,
True.
which doesn't need to be legal in any format apart from that deck. So I think it's harder, whereas obviously they brought out the Challenger decks, which are quite successful.
But they're free to reprint cards and standard as they want, like they did with the Challenger decks. So, if they'd have brought out pre-constructed Brawl decks, would you have bought one?
Potentially, depends which one it was.
2-0.
Cedric wins 2-1.
So there we go.
Same
Cedric
result as
wins
game day with
2-1.
those two decks.
So that's it. Very quickly, we're on to the next round. Create those matches.
Who do we want?
Looks like we have... I think it might be nice to have Linda versus Rick on the top table. So our top table is Alex Pegler versus Cedric Yin, but Linda Van der Veen and Rick Eaglestone are on only just behind. So I actually really like the idea of having them
I
on.
think we've got Gruel Aggro against Zombie Tribal.
Oh wow, that sounds
I
fantastic.
think it's going to be a great game.
Perfect. Yeah, let's have them on. Let's have Linda on your playmat then.
Sure.
Seems to be most appropriate.
She'll obviously replace it with her own playmat because.
Well, of course. Well, hers is better than yours anyway.
Oh, come on, Chandra or some Thopters?
Absolutely, Thopters.
Oh, alright, George, I see how it is.
So now, I'm pretty certain Linda will be playing a green-red deck. It's her absolute favourite colour combination, and she will very rarely play anything that isn't green and red. Rick, on the other hand, playing Zombie Tribal, which again got a lot of hype coming into this new set. M19 adding a couple of important cards, one being Death Baron, which was a very expensive casual card. 3 mana, 2/2 that gives skeletons and zombies 1/1 and Death Touch. It was a 3 mana lord that also gave Death Touch, very important in this zombies deck, and enabled it to float, at least initially, somewhere near the top. It's somewhat fallen back again. I don't think it's had any reasonable finishes at any big tournaments recently. But a very synergistic, very powerful deck, rolling around, spamming the board with as many zombies as you can.
And he's got the Liliana to bring him back.
And he does. So that the other card that M19 brings.
There she's replaced my mat.
I think it's beautiful. That not just being Thopters, but more importantly, that being pies. So that there is the artwork from the Thopter Pie Foundry Christmas card.
There's a bit of synergy there. Chandra's heating up the pies from underneath there.
Delicious.
Well, you don't want a cold pie?
No, you wouldn't want a cold pie, would you? Well, yeah, sweet pie. Sweet pies serve cold. I mean, they have to be baked originally, but
just punch holes in my funniness.
Do you not think that a Thopter flying a pie through the sky would cool it down? All that wind blowing on the pie.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Well, exactly.
You got me.
So, yes, the Thopter Pie Network being a holiday season promo from 2016, I believe. Yes. I actually have a copy of that card.
Have you?
I do. It's a fantastic
It's
card.
my birthday coming up, George.
Is it?
I would really like that card, actually.
You'd be more than welcome to buy it from me.
Oh, okay, fine.
I wouldn't normally want to sell it, but seeing as though it's your birthday, I'm feeling generous.
Thank you. Very kind of you.
And Linda, of course, playing the red-green deck.
Of course. What else does she play?
Absolutely.
She tried to play... I believe she tried to play blue once, and she just hated every minute of it. She's not a blue player. She goes, I don't want to control. I just want to hit face. I've also been told I'm not allowed to be biased in my commentary in this game.
Okay, so you're gonna be rooting for Rick then?
No, because then I would bias the other way. I have to be.
Well, let's see. I normally favour the underdog, so we'll see which.
Well, both of these are janky-ish decks, I guess.
Yes, they are.
Although Linda does have some very top-tier cards.
She does have some top-tier cards. Has her at the Fervent, Glory Bringer, Bomat Courier.
But you then also have Voltaic Brawlers,
Voltaic
Lathnu
Brawler.
Hellions. I guess we should start the timer, George.
They are still very aggressive cards, though. So we're just starting the round timer again. Our players are rolling off.
Pie, yes. Yeah, I love George and pie.
Oh, delicious.
What is the last 2 matches with the deck sleeves being the similar colour?
Oh, I like the pink sleeves. I think they're great.
No, but I'm saying that both decks' opponents have been the same colours.
Yeah, you're right. They have been. So
Although these ones look like they're exactly the same.
Am I right in thinking Rick's borrowed that deck from Alex Pegler?
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
I know he's recently just come back to the game.
Oh, fantastic! It's nice to see
that's,
people coming back. Strong
You got your
hand from
Lathnu,
Linda.
you got your Chain Whirler, Carvu. Ooh, Dread Wanderer comes in tapped, of course.
It does enter
Rick.
the battlefield tapped.
I guess it doesn't. It's not going to make a difference. So
No, there's no point. We won't alert him to it now because it could be relevant if Linda plays a Bomat Courier, but
yeah,
no,
I
it's
guess
fine.
at that point I'd have gone out. But
That's fine. Rick nicely curving out here. Turn 1, turn 2 plays. He's noticed it comes to tap now.
He's paid 2 mana for that.
He's attacking for 2.
Why has he paid 2 mana for that?
Not entirely certain. I mean, players are free to tap their mana however they wish. You just finish the turn with 1 mana in his pool.
Well,
He's getting some F6 value. So on MTGO, when you're tapped out with no abilities, you just fly through your turn. So
we have a Rootbound Crag in play.
Linda with perfectly fixed mana right now.
Still would have been better if it was a Shockland. Can't wait for it. I'm so excited.
You know her deck quite well.
Yep.
What's the
Looks like a
exciting 2
Voltaic
drops?
Brawler here. Yep, called it.
So what does that do, Kevin?
Gives her some energy, and then when it attacks, you pay what? Give 2 energy. When it attacks, pay 1 energy, it'll get +1/+1 and trample.
Oh,
but
cool.
more importantly, what Linda uses it for is to keep that Hellion alive for an extra turn,
Ah, like it. And that pink dice there to
representing
represent.
their energy.
Fantastic. Of course, Rick off to quite an aggressive start. Wonder what he
Roller
gives
is a
3 mana is the
three.
key turn for Lords in the zombie
Yep.
deck.
Here comes the Lord of the Accursed, indeed. So those are 3/2s now. Passing the turn, was he?
Interesting.
Nope.
No, he's jamming it. He's getting in there.
Is Linda going to block? I think Linda's not going to block here.
I think she has to take the damage. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not an exciting prospect, but
I mean,
this is the kind of start that the zombies deck wants. Does Linda's deck run much in the way of removal?
it does have shocks and lightning strikes.
Okay, so we could see a lightning strike on the Lord here. I think it's probably what she wants here.
Probably what you want to do, yeah.
Even a lightning strike plus a shot. looks quite
Unless she wants to go Hellion,
good.
attack with
Interesting.
Hellion, and then insult to injury the next turn.
Oof,
That would be game.
that'd be quite a lot of damage. We do.
What is she?
Linda's carefully thinking through her options here.
course
Goblin Chain Whirler kills. Oh no, it doesn't.
No, because there's no Soulscar Mages, sadly. She does play a bow map.
Interesting.
It's a good chomper, I guess.
It is. It'd be nice if there was the removal spell here. 2 mana.
Untamed Carvu.
That is a 2/2 Vigilant Trample without the kicker.
Yep.
Okay.
Kicker believes it makes it a 4/4.
Wow. I suppose it gives you the flexibility to play it early or play it late.
Just paying 1 energy.
Pumping that brawler somewhat.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Obviously should have declared as an attacker first, but hey,
Attacking with the Bowmat carrier into their Lord of the Accursed.
interesting.
Interesting play there.
I guess she may have forgotten that she's tapped out.
May very well have.
It doesn't matter.
Rick taking it. Frightened potentially of some unknown combat trick. Maybe showing some amount of inexperience coming back to the game, I guess.
Perhaps.
Bowmat carrier obviously getting more and more value the
Oh,
more
yeah.
turns it's able to attack for.
Always best on turn 1, obviously.
Yeah.
What have we got? Oh, another Dread Wanderer.
Wow.
We're going to see another playset on screen.
Could very well do.
Jamming for 6/8.
Ow.
The card we can, of course, trade with a Dread Wanderer.
Not the most exciting of trades,
No,
though.
Dread Wanderer can come back. I think I'd take it as an empty board. She can smash face next turn if she wants.
Yeah, but
If you're red-green at heart, you gotta go for the attack, not the defense.
8 damage does drop her to
Yep.
only, well, a very low life total. I can't quite see exactly what her life total is there, but she took a hit for 2, then she took a hit for 6. So she could be on as little as 12 life here.
Oh, jumping.
Chump blocking, interesting.
But
I think I would have liked
why are you-
trading
why
with
are
a
you
Dread
jump blocking
Wanderer.
then? I mean, I know I'm not allowed to be biased, but why are you doing that? Ooh, I think that was a bad call there.
Yeah, because nothing actually dies there.
Yeah, I would have at least liked to take one of them out.
Yeah, I think so too.
Bless
Excuse
you.
me, thank you.
What's she got?
4 mana.
Hazaret.
Yeah, but she left far too many cards in hand for Hazaret to be able to attack
Yeah.
or block. Not the most exciting
Still
play.
threatening. I've got a god on my side.
I think what she really needs here again is still a removal spell on that Lord of the Accursed.
She didn't have the most aggressive of starts.
Might
That
look
this
like
deck can be quite
Hellion?
aggressive. Chain Whirler.
Would it be more exciting without the Lord in play?
Yep. But it now obviously can favourably block against anything unless it gets killed.
Linda is at a very low life total though. I think if Rick just activates the Lord of the Accursed, gives all 3 of them menace,
Oof. Yep.
she can only block 1,
Correct.
and then he's getting in for 6 points
Unless
of
she
damage
has
there,
unless she's holding a shock in hand.
potentially. A shock would be very helpful.
Although if she is holding a shock in hand, she should do it now to kill the Lord, because the Lord has taken 1 damage from the Chain Whirler.
It has. That would be the correct play there if she was holding a shock.
Because then the Wanderers would also die.
I have a feeling that she might she's unlikely to have a shock unless she drew it specifically this turn. Because last turn she could have killed the Lord then with the shock.
True. Well, she was tapped out.
Actually, you're very, very right.
So he's not activated the...
Ooh, he's attacking the Lord. Interested in just trading that off.
The first strike will kill it first, and then take off the Dread Wanderers, make them just 2/2s.
So if he blocks the Lord here, blocks the Bowmat Carrier on a Dread Wanderer, Voltaire Brawler on a Dread Wanderer, that leaves Rick with nothing but one Dread Wanderer in play, doesn't it? And Linda
Does
still
Linda
has a
realise
Chainmail.
this though?
Interesting. We're about to find out. Linda's just considering very carefully what block she wants to make here.
Yep.
I think that's the right block
I think
there.
that may be the only block she's making. She may not realise the first strike gets rid of the Lord buff.
The first strike does get rid of the Lord buff, you're absolutely
Because it
correct.
would die first.
But she's still on life total. I believe that she still has to block something else.
So obviously here, if she does block with the Bowmat and the Dread Wanderer doesn't die, I will have to go out.
Well, let's just give the players a few
no, actually,
moments
'cause they would
just to
still
find
die.
out. She
Yep.
has, that's sensible. Just carefully thinking if she wants to take 6 points of damage here. I don't think.
Well, she'd only be taking 4 because the Lord buff does drop off.
That's very true.
So how much?
She's blocking everything, so
How much does she spin down by? Yeah, they'll trade. That'll kill that first.
yeah.
And she takes how much? How much is she spinning?
And both of those Dread Wanderers are dead.
And the other one? Yeah. Well, they would die anyway because the Lord's dead.
Yes, that's right. So one of those Dread Wanderers is dead. So that's Kevin just going back out onto the shop floor, letting the players know that because the buff from that Lord of the Accursed is gone, the Bowmat Courier does in fact trade with it. So leaving Rick with nothing but a Dread Wanderer and Linda with a 3/3 first striker.
It is a chain whirler format after all, is what we were saying before.
It is a chain whirler format. So leaving Linda in a good position. If she can follow up with something big like a Glory Bringer here, then I think she's in a very reasonable position.
She does love the Glory Bringer. Oh, is she lining up?
Is she bringing some glory?
Oh, just
Ah.
a Hellion.
Just a Hellion? What do you mean just a Hellion?
That's
It's still
7.
a full-powered haste
Yep.
attacker. I think she has to leave the chain whirler back to block.
I
though.
would
She's
always. The chain whirler is just a beast of a defender against the zombies with no Lord.
absolutely. And it's she's on such a low life total that I don't think she can afford to
No,
not leave back a single blocker.
unless
at
she
all.
has a strike in hand. But yeah, there goes the 4.
I suppose get the points of damage in with the Hellion while you've got the ability to, because the
What's she
energy.
losing life.
I don't know why that affected her life total.
Unless she didn't take it from last turn, she's cycling.
She may not have taken her damage from the last turn because one
Yeah.
of those Dread Wanderers was unblocked.
If Rick
Oof.
can get rid of that chain whirler.
Rick is just drawing lands. He can get some Dread Wanderers back from the graveyard though. They are still in there.
I'm not sure how many cards he has in hand, of course.
I saw at least one other land in his hand. I don't know what else is in there, but
She should have paid that at the end of last turn, obviously.
she should have paid that at the end of the last turn. But end
Yeah.
result is still the same.
Yep.
This is Friday Night Magic. It's only casual. Ooh, that was
Looks like-
something big.
Oh, she keeps the Lathian Hellion. That's why she has the hubs.
Ether Hub giving the one key energy extra she needed for that Hellion. That was incredible.
Is she? Oh, this looks like a Glory Bringer.
Something big.
This definitely looks like a Glory Bringer. Yep,
Oof.
she's brought some glory.
Ouch. And is that a foil Glory Bringer?
It is set foil.
Very fancy.
Is she exerting? Guess she doesn't need to,
I don't think she needs to here.
especially with the Hellion being able to live. Just pointing out, it's got flying. Oh, Rick does have 2 lands in hand.
Oof, that is really tough. 2 lands just stopping you from bringing back those Dread Wanderers.
And she's paying that energy. I mean, why would you want the Hellion to die at this point, I think? So,
Wow.
what can Rick top deck to save the day? Oh, that is not the creature you want to see.
1, 2, 3. No, because of course the Dread Wanderers come back in tapped as well. So
Yep.
I think that marks
He can't block, he can't bring anything, he can't... It's a shame for Rick there, I think. He had a very good start.
I think that marks the end of the game. He had an incredible start. 3 Dread Wanderers plus a Lord.
Power of Chain Whirler.
Just didn't find anything.
Guess she's not exerting because she knows she doesn't have to.
Absolutely. Scrap Heap cannot block.
Oh,
So it looks like 1-0 to Rick. Well done to Rick.
to Linda.
1-0 to Linda even. Well done to Linda, I should say. Absolutely. Very well done, Linda.
Oh, that was very unlucky from Rick, though, I think.
It was. You just... What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 7 lands.
Yeah,
That's a lot
just-
more than the zombie deck needs.
I mean, if he had, when he had the 4 zombies out, if he played a Liliana, he could have killed the Chain Whirler, giving it -X to the number of zombies you have.
I think for me
Or any
there,
removal.
I think I didn't like... I think Rick probably could have won that. If instead of attacking the Lord into the Chain Whirler,
Menaced him.
gave them all menace. That means Linda could have only blocked 1, 2 would get through, and then the next turn you menace again and get through again.
Exactly.
I think
that was the decisive turn.
I think so too. Difficult position though. Linda seemed to be really struggling in those early turns, and then suddenly just
Out of nowhere.
out of nowhere, a huge amount of damage.
She did
came
miss a land
across the
drop as
board.
well, I think, at one point. But then she found her lands. Found that crucial extra energy as well.
Yeah, I managed to get up into that. Well,
Serpoparts against black.
interesting.
Taking out Chandra's.
A very interesting choice there.
Oh no, sorry, that's the other way. Serpoparts are main board.
Yes, so you bring the Cephalopods out because they don't do anything against the mono
And
black
Chandra
deck.
is just value to have.
Absolutely, and directly kills a Lord.
Yep.
I like that. I like that sideboarding
Yeah,
plan
I
from her.
thought it was the other way at the minute. I got really confused and slightly disappointed.
So that's an interesting choice by Linda. So the main board Serpopards.
It's knowing the store meta a bit, or I guess what it used to be.
a lot of control.
A lot more control. Phil plays control. You play Turbo Fog.
Cedric played control.
Yep.
Rob plays control.
Exactly.
There is potentially
is.
a lot of control decks around.
Plus, it is a 3-mana 4/3, which activates Heronus.
Oh, she's playing Ronus too.
Yeah, she loves Heronus.
Oh, fantastic. Speaking of which, I do need to pick up a Ronus for my modern deck.
Interesting. When they rotate out, I may sell you one on my birthday.
In what? A week's time?
No,
It's
you're
not
gonna have to
long
wait
till
till my
they rotate
birthday.
out.
You have to wait till my birthday. I'll swap it for a top to Pive network.
Oh, unfortunately, I'm looking for a foil one, Kev, I'm afraid.
I will get some Sharpie.
How does that work?
It really doesn't.
Nail varnish, probably a better idea to get it shiny. I'm sure Linda's probably got some of that somewhere. I'm sure you've got some of that somewhere.
definitely, I
Based on
mean,
your beautiful
hello.
nails.
Here we go, game 2. What are your
Let's-
predictions this time?
I think something very similar will happen unless Rick can get in a lot
I see
of
shock
damage
there
early.
and an insult and 4 lands?
I saw an artifact
Yeah.
as well. Did I see an artifact?
I don't think she has any.
Interesting.
It could have been the Ether Hub.
Maybe could have been an
that kind
ether
of
hub.
under the glare.
The
So then that
gold
means
colour.
that was a 5-lander, insult and shock.
That's a very disappointing hand. That has to be shipped straight back.
Yeah, she wants creatures and creatures
Yeah.
and some more creatures. She's very gruel.
That is the key. The removal spells, the insult to injury are just really support cards to help her
Yeah,
get her game plan done.
insult to injury is very win more, but it does make you win more. Although she has won with when people have attacked into her thinking they can win the next turn, she can't kill me this turn. She has insulted for exacties.
Oof. And obviously very powerful against the
Turbo
fog
fog.
effects. Yeah.
She was hoping to play you with your table fog at some point. Aha, George can't. Oh, that is a better hand.
2 lands,
Is it
3
2?
lands.
Is it 3?
That
yeah,
looks
that's an
great.
Ether Hub. That is a keep, I believe.
For a six land hand, that 6 card hand, that's pretty good.
scry.
Linda not choosing to.
She forgot to scry. Too late now.
It is too late now. She's drawn her top card, so just assume she squared and kept on top, I guess.
Yep.
There we go. Shelter Thicket, beginning the game. Rick getting his ideal draw there. Turn
Linda
one.
does tap left, which does annoy me.
Uh,
Some more Dread Wanderers.
well, you know what that is. She's European. They tap on the other side of the road over there, don't they?
Yes, they do indeed. I think that's right. Someone Google that.
So
Oh, another Shelter Ticket into
No,
on Craig's start. Here comes the Brawler.
pretty good start. Rick also having the same start he had last time.
Yeah, it's carbon copy game this so far. Except Rick did only tap the 1 black this time for the second Dread Wanderer.
That's true.
Holding up a Fatal Push.
Which, if it
Oh, I see a Duress in hand, I think. No, that was a Swamp. My apologies.
looks like he's drawing a lot of swamps again. That's a Vraska's Contempt in hand, though. That could become very
It
relevant.
is.
And a Lord?
No,
No.
not the Wanderer.
Third Dread Wanderer. Wow. That is an aggressive start.
Is Linda gonna block here?
I don't think she does.
Nah,
She
too
can't.
early. Your life is a resource.
And eventually Rick can bring those Dread Wanderers back. I think.
They do come back tapped. And Sorcerer Speed.
Very true. Although probably not for a few more turns. Rick's got a number of cards in his
Yeah.
hand. Crucially, it does look like Rick's got a Vraska's Contempt in
Yeah.
hand, which will deal with one of Linda's bigger threats. If Linda can find the lands for it.
Was yeah, because she did have a Chandra in hand, I believe. At the start hand.
Interesting.
There's that hub.
Getting one more energy. 3. I suppose Latham Hellion's the 3-drop of choice in this deck, is it?
She has a lot of 3-drops.
Oh, Chain Whirler also. Chain Whirler would be very powerful here.
Ooh, a Hellion.
Hellion it is.
So she can jam for 7 if she wishes. She can race.
I mean, in theory, she can jam for 8, can't she?
She wouldn't because she'd want to keep the Hellion alive.
But isn't the Hellion working on in multiples of 2 and she's got a bonus energy there? Or is she going to hold up
Oh
in
yeah, I forgot about
in
that.
case-
1-2-0.
Rob
Ooh.
1-2-0. Very
Rob
well
wins
done.
2-0, beats Sam Cook.
Well done to him.
Frozen. Oh, we're not frozen then.
We're not frozen. So Hellion does work in multiples of 2, we were just discussing. So
Yeah, I forgot about the Ether Hub.
I suppose the
So
other
she could
option...
pump. Nope, she's just going for the 4.
Interesting. I liked racing there, I think.
I think I would have raced.
And I probably would have pumped Voltaic Brawler 1 turn. Leave the Hellion around for 2
She's
turns.
paying the energy now, yes.
Because
Now she can something can be Frasket Contempt. I would have raced.
I've been in this position with that Rick's in though. You've got Vraska's Contempt. We've got a removal spell. Do you kill the Hellion knowing that eventually it goes away?
Yeah.
In the meantime, it does so much
But
damage.
this is why Linda loves the Hellion. She's like, I'm going to attack with it. If you want to deal with it, you're going to waste a card on a card that's going to go anyway. But at the same time, if you don't, you're going to take 4 damage a turn till it dies.
Yes.
That's why she loves it.
Although the life gain from Rick and the
Is relevant.
6 damage is...
I think I would block now.
He's winning this race.
I think I would block now, personally.
Depends what's in the rest of Linda's hand. Those 3 lands on the battlefield are the 3 she started with in her opening hand.
Correct.
The question is, has she drawn any more?
She is taking it.
What she really needs here is a Chain Whirler. That would be brutal.
Oh, wow. That would just be...
Kill all 3 of Rick's zombies.
That would give me flashbacks with my token deck. That was a red card. She's not slammed it, though.
I mean, there are a lot of red cards in this deck, Kevin.
Oh, yeah. I think it was that card, actually.
Well, a land is what she needs. Even tapped, a land is still
Playing
good.
energy. Is this the Chain Whirler? Is this the
It
Chain
must
Whirler
be,
moment?
because she needs triple red for something.
Oh, my word.
Oh.
Filth. She's just pointing out, rubbing salt in the wound.
Ouch.
Dead.
That is really
And
tough for
one
Rick.
down. Oh, Rick.
And
And
Linda's
of course,
got...
now she can attack for free.
Oof.
Oof, that was a...
I mean, we literally were just discussing Chain Whirler coming down here would ruin things, and
It did.
we predicted the future, didn't we, Kev? Ouch.
That's just disgusting. Now, imagine though, you're playing a tokens deck and you have 7 tokens with the one that happens to you.
Oof.
It was a sad day.
Ouch. But that's why you're running cards like Heroic Intervention
Yeah.
and Charge.
I am
and-
now. I wasn't thinking about it then. Chainwhirler wasn't so big right at the beginning of Dominaria. I mean, obviously people pegged it, but it wasn't that popular. That's the one.
Graveyard Marshal.
Yeah,
3/2
that's the
for
Lord.
black.
gives everything Death Touch. Is it? No, that's the
No.
Death Baron. Sorry.
That's the one you pay 3 mana, exile a card, creature card from your graveyard,
Yep.
and get a 2/2 zombie. Rick choosing to exile a Dread Wanderer from. I mean, he doesn't
Well,
have
that's
any
the
other.
only ones you've got, I guess.
But then it depends what's in Rick's hand. If,
Well, it's just the swamp there.
well, then I like the idea of just bringing the Dread Wanderer back. I suppose that doesn't provide a blocker, but
Does it come in tapped?
not as far as I'm aware.
Maybe that's why he's done it. At least he's got a blocker.
You're right. I mean, he's got a high enough life total, so he can afford to take a hit, I think.
Oh, it does.
It must come into play tapped. They wouldn't be tapping it unless there was a reason to.
Yep.
So we know Linda here has got a Chandra as well in hand. We saw that earlier. So that coming down here, killing the Grave Marshal puts...
Create a tap 2/2 black zombie creature token, indeed.
So we know Linda's, has got a Chandra in hand. That coming down, killing the Graveyard Marshal, doesn't leave Rick with very much going on at all.
No. Or a land into a Glory Bringer anyway.
Oof.
I do struggle against Linda's deck
They-
with tokens.
It does seem to be a lot of power in here.
She's playing all her favourite cards before it rotates.
A lot of the very best cards in the standard from the looks of things. It's although there is some element of jank in the
Yeah.
Latin Hellions, there is some power as well in
Oh,
the
yeah.
top end. Glorybringer,
I've not seen
Chandra.
a Hazaret yet either. There is a Chandra coming down from the looks of it.
My only objection to Hazaret in this deck being that there's
She's
a
only
lot of
she's only got 2
expensive
of them.
cards.
She's only got 2 of them in the deck, so I believe.
Seems like she might end up with cards stuck in hands a lot of the time, though.
Yeah, but
A
then
lot
at
of
least it's
expensive
a
threats.
free shock. Tick up.
To exile a shock.
That's deal 2 damage anyway.
Plus, you need to find lands to get into these Glorybringers, so exiling
True.
on lands does help with that somewhat.
So what is she doing here? She's paying the energy as it declares as an attacker.
Yes.
So it
Attacking
now has
7.
trample.
Ouch. Rick jumping the Chain Whirler.
Well, I guess the 4 is gonna. I guess you
But you
lose.
could trade with the Voltaic Brawler.
It becomes a 4/3.
Yeah, the Graveyard Marshal's a 3/2.
Oh, was it not a 2/2? My apologies.
No, it's a 3/2. So could have traded there with the Voltaic Brawler. I can't see his life total. He might have needed to pad that a
Does
little
look
bit.
like he has been drawing and just trying to show us her cards. I think I saw.
There was definitely a Glorybringer in
Yeah,
there.
so I think tick up a Chandra next turn and that's game. Take Chandra off a mana.
Lord is a good draw for Rick. Maybe he can get back a Dread Wanderer as well.
Does come in tap, sadly.
Yeah, there's not a lot looking. Oh, he's getting
Is he
aggressive.
jamming? Is he going for the Chandra or is he going for Linda? Linda is on a low life total from the looks of it.
It does. I think you have to go for Linda here. I don't think you're getting through all that loyalty on Chandra, and it looks like Linda's only on maybe 1 life point higher than Chandra's loyalty anyway. So
Yeah.
go face.
Linda does seem to be trying to encourage Rick to attack Chandra instead. You sure you don't want to attack Chandra?
Oh no, Linda was an 8, so now she drops to 3. That's still a very low life total. I mean, what can Rick really do here?
I think. Just top decked another Glory Bringer.
Well, that's not the land she wanted to see.
But she can get 2 mana from Chandra.
So I see Rick getting out of this if he has something like a cast down,
Cast down.
or a murder. Glorybringer comes in,
Or, yeah.
he immediately kills it. Chandra's been used for mana, so it doesn't deal any damage this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Then
And then you have to block. Your Lord will die.
The Lord will die.
Either way.
I mean,
She has enough energy to pump up the Voltaic Brawler.
yes, you're absolutely right.
What is Linda's play here?
I don't really like Rick's position here at all.
Linda doing the slow roll. It's like we have one of our other players on camera.
Interesting. So then, Linda, what are you doing here? Not playing the Glory Bringer. Chainwhirler number 2.
1 damage to Rick there, of course. No, it does not die.
Linda just
Correct.
confirming that, but it does deal 1 damage to Rick.
Is she going to use the Chandra?
The 1 damage marked on that Lord of the Accursed could be very relevant though.
Taking Chandra. Exile it to do 2 damage.
Rick left in a very uncomfortably low life total.
Is that a 3?
If it's 3, Linda's got lethal. Pumping the Brawler, which does have trample, and the Lord already has 1 damage marked on it. So she would trample over for 2 with the Voltaic Brawler if he blocked the Brawler. Interesting. Let's see. What can he do? Chainwhirler.
Take 4. Yeah.
And that is the end of the game for Linda. Linda beats Rick 2-0. Very well done there,
Look at her
Linda.
hand there. 2 Glory Bringers. I think I saw. But
3
as you say,
5
the
drops.
Glory Bringer was probably the more high risk strategy because, as you say, you'd have been tapped out. Chandra would have been used, and if he did have a murder or a cast down,
True. I think my personal preference there was maybe
I still would have gone Glory Bringer.
I would not
Or
have.
Tick
I'd
down Chandra to kill the Lord.
play Chainwhirler, take down Chandra to kill the Lord, attack. Even if he has. Even though that taps you out and drops Chandra to a life total where the zombie can kill her,
You still have a very, very good commanding board position.
and Rick probably couldn't have even used the zombie to attack Chandra anyway because he was at such a low life
Yep.
total, he needed the blocker back.
And we can see her deck there.
Voltaic Brawlers, Hazarets, more Chandras. There's
Just D
a
sideboarding.
lot of power in there.
She likes to call it a janky deck though.
There is some amount of jank, but there's a lot of power. There's really a lot of power in there. It's very much. It's very similar to the red-green deck I played before Dominaria came
Red-green
out.
monsters.
Yes, absolutely. A deck that I was very excited to have the addition of Llanowar Elves, but
I think Llanowar Elves
Chainwhirler killed it.
and also made Stompy instead, really, isn't it?
It did. There was no point playing the red because you could just get a very aggressive mono green hands
Yeah.
instead.
Especially now because you can ramp into Gigantosaurus on turn 3,
Oof.
which happened to me last week.
Ouch.
Luckily, Seal Away doesn't care.
Although I did get a turn 3 Golter.
Oh yeah, crewing the heart with the Ronus on board. Oh,
Yeah. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves.
that was filth. Linda just showing off her favourite card in all of Standard.
Insult to
Insult
injury.
to injury.
It's a very good card. Well,
She
no,
does
it's it's not a very good card,
Well,
but it's a very
she-
amusing card.
She does love it. Didn't you play a game on X-Page once you told me about where you had Primal Arrowbit flipped, you played Insult, 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 and then Lightning Strike, and then you shocked for 60 or something?
I did once shock for 64 damage.
Yeah, that was it, yeah.
Because with flipped Primal Amulets, you get to copy your insult to
Yep.
injuries, and when you copy it enough times, your
It's just bonkers.
burn spells become a bit ridiculous. I'm
Two-
very.
1 mana, deal 64 damage. That's a good...
playable.
Yeah, that's playable.
I think I'm planning on building a similar deck when Ravnica comes out. The Izzet spells is very heavily supported.
Is it?
Absolutely. And with Primal Amulets, with the Braid rotating out, Primal Amulet's even better because you don't have the same
Sure.
artifact removal spells that you once had. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
That was an interesting game.
Oh, it was a very good game.
I think Rick did get quite unlucky. He didn't see very much removal.
There are a lot of...
With a black deck, you'd expect some removal.
Yeah, he saw one Vraska's Contempt.
Yeah,
She was forced to use on the Hellion.
yeah, which, as we say, is why Linda runs it.
Yeah. But he didn't see... Game 1 he drew a lot of lands. Didn't see anything really other than the
Lord and 3.
3 Dread Wanderers. And
Well,
that
actually,
game,
both games he had the Lord and 3 Wanderers, didn't he?
yes, but not able to quite get enough damage through.
Sadly not.
And unfortunately losing his Lords. Yes, unlucky Rick. But still, very good deck. Just didn't quite find the synergy pieces it needed to thrive.
I think that's the thing with tribal decks sometimes. They can be very powerful when they go off.
That
But
they can.
if you don't quite find the cards you need.
Well, it's because none of... So, Linda's playing a deck full of cards that are very powerful in their own right. You play a Glorybringer on its own, it's the only thing on the battlefield, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You play a Hazaret, it's the only thing, it's
I
fantastic.
thought that was game 2.
That was game 2. I believe Linda won 2-0.
Yeah. Unless they're just playing for fun.
Unless these players are just drawing up for... Kev, they must be. They've de-sideboarded.
No, that's fine.
So these players are just going to play another game
Yeah,
for
they
fun,
are just
which
playing
is
for fun.
brilliant.
They're just trying to keep us on our toes. Because I did say, you know, there was 2-0 and you just played for fun. Yes. Right. Okay. You made us really confused.
Well, I knew that was the case because Linda de-sideboarded.
Of course.
So they must have known that was the end. Otherwise, that wouldn't have happened. So,
Of course.
but it's nice to see some friendly players just
Yeah.
having another
It's a
casual
nice
game
thing
at the
about
end.
FNM, especially when you finish early. Maybe we can see Rick's deck going off now.
I hate it when that happens.
Because then you're like, I could have done that. Why didn't I do that?
You get absolutely crushed,
And then you play one for fun, and it doesn't
and you
count.
dominate when it doesn't count.
Here comes Bomat.
Although Linda gets the ideal turn 1 play.
It does have an important message to convey. And that message is death.
It's not a message I want to receive. I wouldn't be answering the door, would you?
Well,
Especially when all the gifts it's carrying, all the parcels,
Yeah.
aren't being delivered to you. They're being delivered to your opponent.
yeah. Let me have them at least. We do have the Graveyard Marshal. I think I saw a Scrap Heap Scrounger and a Lord in his hand as well.
It looks like a slightly more powerful, maybe slightly more synergistic start from Rick. Didn't have the 1-drop, but this deck doesn't necessarily always need the 1-drop to...
Not really. And it doesn't have any green sources yet, of course.
Interesting. So no Voltaic Brawler here.
Lightning strikes that though.
I like that. Get the
that
Chroma
was-
Courier in.
I think I see a Death Baron in his hand as well.
Death Baron is very good. That's another card
Plus
we
one,
haven't
plus one,
seen.
and Death Touch. To all zombies.
And skeletons.
And skeletons. Can't forget those skellies.
You don't
Would
see-
you run any skeletons in this deck?
I can't think... There aren't a huge amount of skeletons in Standard. There's Reassembling Skeleton, which isn't particularly amazing. And I can't think of that many other skeletons in Standard, to be fair. Let's see. So, it's here exclusively for the zombies.
Yeah, of course. And there it is.
And there it is itself. 3 mana, 2/2. Not currently pumping anything,
that's,
but it will certainly.
Another 2/2 zombie that comes in tapped in hand there. I forget the name.
Diagraph.
the one.
So, I mean, if I was Rick here, instead of playing the Lord out onto the empty board,
I would have gone
2/2,
into the...
Scrap Heap plus Diagraph
yep.
Ball. Yeah, me too. Then you follow up with the Lord the following
That's
turn.
what I would have done too, yep.
Yeah, I think Linda here can't really attack with the Bowmat Courier anymore, though, can she?
No, and she's only just tap land.
Eventually, found a green source though. It's not exactly the way she wanted to find it, but at least it's something. We're going to Linda just passing the turn back. So this is where Rick's going to really take advantage of Linda stumbling on
Yep.
mana,
Maybe that's why he played the Lord first, I guess.
not adding to the board.
Because at least if he played the other way, the Scrap Heap and the 2/2, she would have got another card on that Bowmat. Because neither of them would have been able to block.
Very true.
2 Lords.
Again, I still would have liked, I think
I still would have.
Diagraph plus Scrap Heap here, but do you know what? The Lords powering each other up gets gets overwhelming
Jump for
quite
3.
quickly.
Is the Death Baron other zombies or zombies you control?
It's other zombies, so it doesn't pump itself.
Sad. Most Lords don't.
Most Lords don't. There aren't that many Lords that pump. I can't think of a single Lord that actually pumps itself.
I think some sliver ones do, where all slivers get +1/+1. Can't remember the names.
I think I
Is
might
it
say
Sign-
other
Sign?
slivers.
Maybe.
But the key thing about some of the older slivers is they do in fact pump your opponent's slivers.
She's just lightning strike that, not realising that's actually 4 power, 4 toughness.
Yes, do you want to go and confirm to those players that that creature does actually have a 4th power? So, this being just a casual game, I think they'll probably just take that back and lightning strike the Death Baron, but it doesn't look like those players are going to do that. It doesn't look like they're quite winding back all that way.
But she's leaving it in a graveyard because I think either way she's going to want to cast it. I think that's what we're thinking.
Indeed, but I don't think... Seeing Linda's hand here, 2 Glory Bringers, a Ronus and a Blossoming Defense.
That's a...
Wow.
It's a good hand, that.
That's very good. Even this
I think
little...
she's... What has she done with the lightning strike then?
I think she's just stuck with her decision. She's accepting that she made a mistake.
Yep, fair.
She lightning struck the wrong creature, and she's dealing with that. That's a very professional way of going about playing, accepting you made a mistake, not trying to get your opponents to let you wind it back,
Yep.
which you could very well do at a
I guess what she's
casual
thinking is she
tournament.
can Blossoming Defense a Bowmat into the 3/3 anyway.
Very true. Unless Rick finds another Lord here. He's not. It's a Graveyard Marshal, but still very good. And the Diagraph Ghoul.
Was it tapped, of course?
Doesn't tapped, but attacking with the Lords.
I believe we are going to see a Blossoming Defense here, and would you sack your hand? Probably not.
No, you're 1 land draw away from 2 Glory Bringers.
What if the land is underneath the Bowmat?
Then you lose the Glory Bringers and the land's pointless.
Oh! Decisions.
No, there's no decision there. You Blossoming Defense the Bowmat Carrier,
Yeah, of course.
eat the Death Baron, take 2 damage. Perfect. Kill that Death Baron, go away. Should have eaten you to a lightning strike, but that's fine.
And then could have done the same trick on the...
Lord of the Accursed,
Lord
and
now.
kept your Bowmat Carrier.
Of course.
Because we're 3-3 against the 2-3.
They're not trading? Yes.
They are trading. Ouch. Well, Rick still got a great board position. I think Linda really desperately needs to draw a land here. If she does, I think she's a favourite. I think if she doesn't draw a land
If she
here...
Glory Bringers exerts it into the
Lord.
then plays another Glory Bringer the turn after. Or she might drop Ronus first, but I guess you shouldn't.
If she draws a land, she's got to go
Plus
Glory
one.
Bringer. If she doesn't draw a land, it's going to be a very unexciting play of
Ooh.
Ronus pass.
Was that a Neither Hub?
No, that looked like a lightning strike. Oh no,
Oh, it was a Forest.
basic forest. Just what she needed. A land that comes in
I
untapped.
wonder what she's going to play.
And I wonder what she's going to do with that. Kill that Lord of the Accursed, I can imagine.
Bane 5 for 4. Oh, wait, no.
Not unless he was only on 4 life. Glory
Glory
Bringer,
Bringer
wow.
is-
Exert and kill that Lord.
Yeah, you've got 2.
Still leave Rick with 5 power in play, but then you're going to have Glory Bringers being able to exert
That's opposite.
turn after turn,
after turn. She is exerting it. Dealing 4
Turning-
damage to the Lord.
turning it upside down, indicating that it is in fact exerted. There's a few different ways you can do it. Some people
Yeah,
flip
pull
them
it-
upside down.
Pull it out of the top a bit. Or that's more for embalmed and now, isn't it?
It is little token on top to indicate, but Linda turning it upside down is a good way.
Really? It just means you need
reminds
to
you-
tap it twice.
Wow.
Untap it twice. What's this?
Liliana's
Ooh.
Mastery. Wow.
So another Lord.
A Lord that she can't
get rid
glory
of.
bring. And brings along with it 2 3-powered zombies. Wow.
This is what Rick wanted to do in the games, as you were right. Sometimes your deck goes off when you...
When it doesn't
quite
matter
wins.
anymore.
Well, it still matters, I suppose, in a way, but not for FNM purposes.
So Rick attacking for 7 here.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, indeed.
Are we going to see Linda play a Glory Bringer and not be able to attack with it? No, we won't, because that will be exactly the same effect as not
Yeah.
attacking.
Might as
As
well-
attacking and exerting.
Yeah,
You either can block or you can kill something. So
same thing.
I think Linda's just dead here. She's only at 4 life. She would need to find a way to block 3 different things. And that Glory Bringer's tapped.
Ronus. You can chomp for days now. Well, not chomp even, but you know what I mean.
I don't
There's
think
nothing's gonna
Linda
happen here,
can
though.
do anything here. I think she's just
I
dead.
think she's dead.
As we said, it's just the way it goes. You play the casual game after your 2 proper
Yeah.
ones that you've just lost, and you win. And a shock that can't kill a zombie
No, can't kill a zombie. Oh, shock
to
him.
the face. I think that's Linda accepting that she's dead. Just shock to the face. Deal as much damage as you possibly can. And just another land. Nothing exciting.
Cedric 1
there.
2 1.
Very well
Ooh,
done,
Cedric
Cedric.
wins 2-1.
Beating Alex
Do you know
Pegler.
what? I haven't been able to beat Pegler the last 2 times. 2 times I've played him with that deck, and Cedric's
Cedric
gone and done
2-1.
it.
So, I mean, currently looking at our standings, Cedric is right at the very top. He's at 3 wins and no losses, doing extraordinarily well with your deck. We're going to see your deck versus Linda's in the final.
Well, Linda's at 3 wins as well.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to see her versus
Oh, yeah,
Cedric
of course.
in the final. Both of those players on 3 wins. So, that is Rick beating Linda when it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So,
So do we keep Linda versus Cedric on the final table?
I think we want to see
We
the
wanna see the
results of the
finals, don't
final.
we? Yeah.
So we'll just leave Linda exactly where she is, and we'll bring Cedric in to replace
I
Rick.
will let her know.
Fantastic. Sounds very exciting. So, here we go. One more round left to play. Only 1 minute 50 left to go. We are going to have Cedric Yin on the final table. This could be potentially Linda going on to win a Friday Night Magic. Very well done to her. If she can get it to come off. We'll see. So, we're just resetting the scores. Although the round isn't quite finished yet, we've still got 2 tables playing. We are almost out of time here. Only 1 minute and 11 seconds left. These players are packing up. So then, 50 seconds now. Just a little experiment we're going to do here. You may or may not know, but there is in fact a green screen behind me, hence why you can't see anything but the artwork there. Now, as an experiment, I've worn a green t-shirt under what I'm currently wearing, under this jumper. So I'm just going to slip this jumper off and we'll see what happens. Let's see if you're going to have a floating head commentating for the last round. This is just my little experiment to see what we've got going on. So let's see. Okay, yep, we have a floating head. We'll just tuck sleeves in there. Da-da-da. And there we go, floating head. Unfortunately, it's not quite the right shade of green, so you can't... I'm not entirely a floating head, but we're not far off. You can see directly through me, you can see the chair behind me, but that's it. Just a floating head commentating now. There we go. There we go, floating head. So, as we were just discussing, we just saw Linda's deck play. She managed to beat her opponent 2 wins to 0, beating Rob, who had done very well up to that point. He was at 3 wins. He was at a win and 2 losses, or it was a win and a loss. God picked up his second loss, unfortunately. So, experiment over. I need to put my my jumper back on, but it was nice to see that I can in fact disappear, fade into the background if I need to. So I'm just going to confirm that the round is over. Unlucky mate. Right, so just confirmed that was time on the round. So we have 2 tables still playing into turns. We're just going to wait for those results to come through, and then we'll get back to you with the very last round of Magic. So, did you like that, Hannah? I thought I'd give the floating head thing a try. I specifically wore a green t-shirt underneath just to see if I could possibly do it. I'm afraid I'm not going to leave the floating head for the last match. But I just need to cover this up because I just become see-through when I wear this t-shirt underneath. We'll just try and cover that t-shirt up as best we can. But we're just going to go to a very quick ad break while we get the last players up and running. Right then, welcome back everyone. So we have got the results of Luke versus Justin. Luke takes down the match 2-1. Very well done to you, Luke. And we are just waiting on the results of Matt Perry versus Oliver Pass. Now, they are in extra turns. We're up to about turn 4 now, so can't really see that ending in anything other than a draw at the moment, unless something quite spectacular happens. We'll find out very shortly, though, as soon as I get the results come through from those players. Let's see. Do we have a result from our final game yet?
I was going to ask what the time was, so I guess.
Oh, they know they're in extra
Bring
turns.
back floating head. Is that me?
No, I did my experiment. I took my top off, and I was in fact a floating head.
The score was apparently a draw.
A draw for Matt Perry versus Oliver Pass. So they finish 1-1. An unintentional draw. So we have our next round being created now. We're going to have the top table for you, see who wins the overall. That will be Cedric versus Linda. Going to keep Linda exactly where she is and bring Cedric in. And in the meantime, we're just going to print off the pairings for everyone else.
And I'll be a good little boy and deliver the message.
Very well done. So, table 2 is Alex Pegler versus Luke McKean. 3 is Matt Perry versus Justin Denham. 4 is Oliver Pass versus Rick Eagleston.
And
Sam versus Ben. Let's see then. Here we go. And that means that Rob Winterflood has the bye for the last round, unfortunately for him. Does count as a win though, so he might rise up in the standings. And we have our players just aware that they are playing on the top table. So Linda staying exactly where she is. There we are. Playing with her beautiful Thopter Pi network playmat. And Cedric, which is currently on my Masterpiece Days artwork. I'm a massive fan of that, as I will constantly say every single stream. I'm very proud of that playmat. Had to get it shipped all the way from SCG in the States. And I crack it out every time I get the opportunity. So Cedric, as Kevin was just discussing earlier, is playing the green-white tokens deck. That going as wide as possible, and then going all in on one of those threats with an appeal to authority being one of the most common ways to win. Or just getting lucky and going wide, and wide, and hopefully not bumping into a Chain Whirler. Now, Linda, on the other hand, is playing Chain Whirler in her deck, so we'll have to see if Cedric's going to get his board wiped a few times by that card.
Probably. I do have anti-chain whirler deck though. Tech.
Yes.
You got the Banalish Marshals, you got the Chargers.
But you have to play specific cards to deal with an effect that just comes for free off the Chain
Yes,
Whirler.
okay, fine. Which is the risk I'm willing to take.
So, I mean, here we go then. You have your other half versus your deck. So you're kind of torn.
I've won. I've won FNM.
No, you've lost. No matter what happens, you've lost. So that is unfortunate for you, Kev.
It's fine. It's good to see my deck being piloted well for once. I can't beat Pegler because his 5/5 Lyras.
Now here's a question. Has Linda ever won an FNM?
This will be her first.
Very confident then for Linda, are you? This will be her first.
Well, I think her deck is favoured.
Okay.
If she gets off to a slow start, however, if like in that game 1 where she did manage to turn it around, if she just has a brawler sitting on board doing nothing, then I would say she's unfavoured because my deck can be extremely explosive.
Right, so you've given out the pairings. Let's get this round kicked off. Linda and Cedric there, just cutting each other's decks, making sure everything's in order.
So,
Odds or evens
do you
it
think this
is.
game will go to time?
I really hope it doesn't. These are two hopefully quite aggressive decks with not a huge amount of interaction between them. So I don't imagine this will go to time, but I mean, you never know. Both players like to think through their plays quite carefully before they do them, so maybe it takes a little bit longer for that.
Here we go. Did you see who was going first?
I didn't. It was odds and evens, and I don't know who shouted odds and who
Yeah,
shouted
it's
evens.
just very difficult to see.
Much easier than with a high roll.
Linda does place out her first 7 very weirdly. She did it to annoy me at first, and now it's stuck.
Has it? I like it. Does it still annoy you?
Yes, very much. What did she see? What did I see in her hand? That looks like a mulligan to me. I think I saw 6 lands.
Oh, that's not
That's
the...
not what she wants. Of course, we
No.
can't see Cedric's. Oh, also a mulligan.
Well, at least that's fair. Both players taking a mulligan.
With my deck, though, you do want to aggressively mulligan. If you've got an average 7-land hand...
7 land hands.
So-
Okay,
yeah,
no, that's very
yeah,
good.
7 card hand. That's the word I'm looking for. Versus the not 6 card.
Yeah.
I know I take the risk of taking the 6 every time.
Well, everyone would rather have a nut 6 over an
Yeah,
average
but
7.
the probability of getting a nuts hand is higher in this deck
Okay.
because if you turn 1 Legion's Landing, turn 2 Cat, turn 3 Token Makers,
And an appeal.
and an
Game
appeal,
done.
and then turn 4 more tokens and another appeal. That's it. That's how I won turn 4.
That is quite crazy.
Because the cat is double strike, of course.
Which is ridiculous with the pump spell and that gives trample as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so players here having a look at their 6 card hands.
I think I saw a Legion's Landing. Of course, I have swapped the Legion's Landing out for the checklist cards after the game loss I received.
Yes, in the top 8 of the TBC
Yeah,
queue.
that was it. My first ever top 8. Oh, it's got a tap land on top there. Linda's thinking about it.
Interesting. Depends what the rest of her hand is looking like. That.
It is a pure tap land though.
Oh, is it? That's just a.
She is second, so I guess it makes no difference. And we see the Legion's Landing turn 1.
It's the best possible start, isn't it, for that
Correct. That's what you want.
green-white deck. Linda seeing the card. She already scrolled to the top. That
She
tap
or
land.
he?
Did I say he?
You said she or he. I think you know Linda's a she.
Okay. Can't see faces. Can't. Don't want to make any.
Yeah, you don't want to
gestures.
assume any names. Except, yeah.
Okay, so that's a Timber Gorge then. That is just a pure red-green
Yeah,
tap
just for the extra greens, just for the extra green source.
land. So how many of those?
Also, because when we were building the deck, for some reason, we can't find our 4th Sheltered Thicket.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's second Legion's Landing. Sack one of them, of course.
Does, however,
He
bring
could
with
have
it another
said-
token.
Yep, he could have just sacked the one that was already had the Legion's Landing on it,
Oh, he chose the specific one he wanted to keep.
Yeah,
that
okay,
must be
sorry.
special to his heart.
and he's attacking for 1 and gaining 1, of course. Cedric.
And the lifelink being actually very relevant. Cedric probably digging out for another dice, I would imagine. There he is.
Yep.
Interesting. So, not the most... I mean, he had the ideal turn 1 play. Definitely not the ideal turn 2 play.
Yeah, you wanted a cat or a token maker there. Servo exhibition or sapperling migration there would have made a nicer one. Except now these vampires are stuck.
They're not going to be able to attack through that Voltaic Brawler particularly easily, are they? Although the lifelink, the lifelink is actually quite relevant against the aggressive red deck.
And again, of course, if you had the token generators last turn, he would have flipped the
Legion's
Legion's
Landing.
Landing this turn, giving him 4 mana this turn.
Indeed. Now, 3 mana. What would you want to be doing for 3 mana in this
Banana
deck?
Marshal.
Is it? Okay. The Banana Marshal.
Slam.
And that is the Banana Marshal
And
himself.
there we go. Now those vampires are 2/2s.
Ah, but he doesn't want to trade with the Brawler.
No,
Interesting. I think I would have attacked
I think
that.
he's maybe saving them so either for a bigger appeal or so he can flip the
Legion's Landing.
Legion's Landing next turn. Maybe he doesn't have a 4th land in hand.
Interesting. Okay. Now that makes sense if that's the case.
What
Linda...
does Linda have?
Well, Chainwhirler's not even any good anymore.
Not anymore. Especially without its Skull Scarred Mage buddy.
Yeah, she probably wants, I don't know, maybe a removal spell on the Banana Marshal?
Hmm.
Tap land, not exciting.
Lightning Strike the Marshal.
That's what we want to see here. For her to really come back, because Cedric's got off to a powerful start.
Yep.
That is
That's
exactly what
exactly
she's got. I think the key thing, opening up the way potentially for a Goblin Chainwhirler. She doesn't want to bring that down when it's not going to kill any of the tokens. So, Cedric, what can you follow this up with? 4 mana. Potentially up to 4 mana. Does this deck run Shalai?
Shall I?
Okay, that is a big 4 mana threat. I suppose potentially you might
just pass.
He waved his hand. Yeah, he's just
Did
passing the
just
turn straight back. Interesting.
Now I know pre-board.
He did mull to 6, so...
Yeah.
But then he's not getting flooded, so he's got cards in hand. that cost more than
I
3
think-
mana
I think
and
he
aren't
wants. I
lands.
think maybe he has a Shalai.
Okay, interesting.
I think he wanted to flip that.
Oof, this is 3 mana. Is this the Chainwallah?
Oh,
No, it's the Hellion. I
probably
think.
better.
I think you'd rather have the Chainwallah there, don't you?
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Just clear out those 2 vampires.
What's she doing? Shock. Oh.
Bomat Courier, interesting. This gives Cedric the opportunity
Oh,
to.
maybe she'll offer a trade and then let one of the bigger ones through.
Could this be a mass pump spell from Cedric? Is he going to blow her out in combat?
There is Pride of Conquerors, which gives all your creatures +1/+1. Charge, which gives all your creatures +1/+1.
Not the most exciting.
Of course, Charge of Conquerors, if you have Blessing, gives them +2/+2.
But he's nowhere near the City's Blessing, unfortunately. At the
No,
moment.
not at all.
So he's adding up the
Although,
damage.
if
He's
he does,
thinking-
if he does charge, he will still just trade.
He just take the damage here. Interesting. Okay. Linda then paying for that Lethno Hellion at the end of turn. Okay. I mean, you're the expert here. You know these decks intimately.
Yep.
Cedric's found that 4th land.
Could be a Shalai, but Shalai's not going to help all too much at the minute.
Not the most exciting.
Could be
card right
Shram's
now.
Expertise, of course, now. But Shalai it is.
Doesn't pump those vampires.
No. But crucially,
So Linda probably wants to see Land Glorybringer here, doesn't she?
yep,
That kills the
kills
Shalai.
the Shalai.
Interesting.
Just double checking. It doesn't itself have hexproof, so I guess she maybe draw a Glorybringer to just double check if she can kill it.
Maybe has Lightning Strike, wants to see what the power and toughness were. I don't know. Maybe. Don't know. We'll have to have a think. Chandra could tick down and kill.
Chandra's post board.
Post board. Okay, so no Chandras in the main. What other 4 mana threats are there? Hazoret's not turned on.
Oh.
Maybe checking that the hexproof doesn't stop the vampires dying to Chainwallah. No, another Hellion.
Hellion!
That is going to be a lot of damage coming across.
I think I would swing with everything, and then maybe take the 2 mana of the 2 cards off the Bomat if she's got a rubbish hand.
Interesting. I don't know how many cards she's got left in hand.
It looks like at least 2.
Maybe not then.
I don't know why I'm moving my head, it doesn't change the screen. The angle that I can see. Not pumping the Brawler.
No, I think she wants to keep all 4 energy, keep the Hellions alive for
Correct.
one more turn. I think that's the correct choice.
Now she does have shock, so she could shock a Shalai.
That would work against anything but the Bomat Courier. But I don't think Cedric can afford to just block the Bomat Courier here. That would be 11 damage.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think you need to chump the 2 Hellions here.
I mean, you know the deck better than anyone else, but that doesn't seem like a winning line, is it?
No. It looks like he's trading there.
Well, you can take 8. A shock
Take
would
7,
finish
I
your eye
guess.
off here, though.
Take 7, I guess, because of the lifelink for the vampire.
Very true.
Do we see a shock? She does have 2 cards in
I
hand.
think that's what Linda would like here to finish off that Shalai. Okay, putting those cards in the
So
bin.
Not sacrificing the cards in hand.
She obviously likes what she's got.
And Cedric takes 8.
Well, 7 with the life thing you said.
Yes, of course. I said that even. So no shock.
No, and paying for the Hellions.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, absolutely, they're very powerful. Cedric is at a low life total.
Is that a 9? I believe it is.
Looks like a 6 to me, based on where the dot is.
So what can we see? We can see a Shram's Expertise into a free appeal, into a second appeal, if he does have those 3 cards in hand. 'Cause that would be the filth.
That would be ridiculous. More realistically, maybe something like Shram's Expertise into a Benelish Marshal?
That's also a good one.
I suppose all of these things begin with getting 3 blockers with a Shram's Expertise.
Yeah.
But she is tapping 4
Or he
mana.
can play Huatley. Is a Shram's Expertise indeed?
Oof. Does he have something free to play off it? No, he does not from the looks of things.
Well, I believe you play the tokens, place the tokens first.
You do, but he immediately put it in the bin. Maybe that was just a shortcut. Those Hellions
would've-
aren't looking exciting against all those tokens.
If he has a free appeal, I would do it on the vampire. Gain yourself 6 life.
2, 3, 4.
Looks like he's not
5.
playing anything for free though. And he knows full well these Hellions are going to die.
That's really sad actually from Linda's position. She had a very big, impressive board a second ago, and now she's just going to trade 2 Hellions for 2 servos.
I have a feeling she may be holding a... what's the word I'm looking
Brawler
for?
does get to keep one of the Hellions for 1 more turn.
True.
It's not overly exciting though, is it?
At least it's something.
That's true. I'll give you that. Going to have to attack with the 2 Hellions. That's
Yeah, they need to attack.
just about all you can do here, I think. Cedric is just waiting for the opportunity to find an appeal to authority, it looks like.
That is what the deck wants.
Oh, he does have the city's
He
blessing.
doesn't have anything that activates the city's blessing. So he can't have
So he
the
doesn't
city's
have the
blessing.
city's blessing. You're absolutely right. I imagine then that's likely to mean he's got Pride of Conquerors in
Yeah,
hand
so
because
that's
he's got the city's blessing on the brain.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
bother
just
because
wait
it doesn't
till-
actually affect anything at the time being. Actually, it could very well do. Do you want to just confirm that he does not have the city's blessing with him?
just in
Because
case.
for the time being, he does not have it because he's not had a card that actually gives him the city's blessing. Normally something like you need a permanent that says city's blessing on it, or you need to have the 10 permanents
Ascend,
when you
in fact, is
cast
the name.
Ascend.
That's
You're
the
right.
word.
You need a permanent with Ascend on it, or a spell that has Ascend on it, and you must have the 10 permanents when you cast that spell.
Mhm.
So
Which I guess maybe he was counting it so he had it now, so that he probably has a Pride next turn.
that potentially looks like it.
Kills 1 Hellion.
Not the end of the world, actually. Cedric not with an overwhelming board anymore.
I think land into Glorybringer swings advantage by far in Linda's favour.
She didn't want to chuck those cards away with the
So
Bowmat Courier.
I think that suggests strongly that it's a Glorybringer.
Time to. That wasn't a land. Wonder what Linda can do here. I think she desperately needs that land. Although Cedric's not finding anything himself, nothing overly
No.
exciting from his.
He has just been drawing 3 lands, I think.
But if Cedric just survives long enough, these Hellions are killing themselves off.
Yeah, true. But the appeal is getting less and less appealing. Right.
And I suppose Cedric is down to 7 life, so he does need to chump this Hellion, otherwise he could be dead to a lightning strike.
True.
Which, yes, you're right, is making the appeal to authority less and less
Appealing. Thank you. Thank you for letting me have that. Here all night.
unfortunately.
Oh.
See ya!
Wait, no. I'm enjoying my 15 minutes of fame.
Wait, I've given you loads more than 15 minutes.
Oh, hello. Sorry, Hannah.
Oh, interesting. Suppose you put the Shalai on the Brawler?
Blossoming Defense as well somewhere. in the
Oh
deck.
yes, Linda does play Blossoming Defense. Maybe
course.
Cedric's not expecting that.
Of course, you can't insult.
And of course, is Blossoming Defense not a Cedric's deck as well?
No.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I took it out for more tokens. Actually, I took it out for charge because I thought I'd rather save my whole board
Yes.
than 1 creature.
Wow, what's oh, activating of Shalai's ability.
Oh, forgot about that.
That was not something that we actually anticipated here. I mean, he still has to block the Hellion, but he can block it on the Shalai
And
now.
that'll be a 4/5.
Oof. I think Linda really needs to find a way to get rid of that Shalai, because Glorybringer's now not enough.
Correct.
So I think,
Shalai is a great card.
shall I block the Hellion? Linda needs a removal spell.
So that will trade. Does he just take the 4 knowing that it's dead anyway? And then get
But he drops to 3 life.
He can't get lightning striked.
Why?
Shalai.
He cannot be lightning strikes. You're absolutely right. Interesting.
Is she going to try it? Yeah, you can't.
So Linda, instead you point it at the Shalai. The Shalai has taken damage this turn.
No.
No,
didn't
it has
block.
not. You're right.
She can untap her mana now, to be fair.
She has given away the information that she does, in fact, have a lightning strike.
Looks like she's annoyed at herself there. She just...
She played as if she could kill Cedric with the lightning strike, but I suppose Glorybringer does still do it. Glorybringer exert on Shalai.
Yep.
Shalai still has to block, because otherwise
Shalai will then die.
Shalai then dies, and then Linda just has to untap and lightning strike.
Although now as well, if he attacks with the Shalai, Glorybringer will just do it.
Glorybringer will just be lethal.
That is a 3/3.
I think if,
also hexproof Linda.
if I'm Cedric, I just...
Also hexproof Linda.
No, only hexproof from abilities.
Shalai gives it hexproof.
Ah, yes, you're absolutely right.
I think she was trying to do that. That's why she was clarifying it was a 3/3.
That's very unfortunate. This Shalai is really shutting down everything Linda really wants to do.
So
But
that
land
is
Glorybringer and Cedric's dead.
Yep. That's 6 damage.
Does this deck run anything like Cast Out, Settle the Wreckage, anything that would deal with the
Post
Glorybringer?
board.
But nothing pre-board.
No. Pre-board's all about the Alpha Strike.
Land? Land for Linda?
Slam it, Linda. Is it?
Glorybringer? This is the only thing that does it. That's 5 lands. That is a Glorybringer. Attack.
That's going to be dead.
You can't exert, but is that lethal to Cedric? She's pointing at his life total.
Way! Linda
And-
takes game 1.
Scoops it up.
That is...
I think the mistake there was Cedric's. I think he should have left back the Shalai. I
Yep.
think he got greedy trying to
I
get
guess
the
he
damage
didn't know the Glorybringer was in the deck.
Yes, but it's a very aggressive. It is an aggressive red-green deck. I would, dare I say, always be expecting Glorybringer in these types of red mid-range deck.
Now that's what my deck also does. Oh, the 2 cards under the bowmat were 2 lands.
Oh, were they?
So she would have had a Glorybringer a lot earlier if they didn't exile, of course.
Well, and of course if.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yes. But no, it's quite interesting that actually.
So if I was... Sorry.
If I was in Cedric's position, I definitely wouldn't have attacked with the Shalai there.
I think he was trying to re-race.
But I don't think you can race. You're protected
No.
from a burn spell by Shalai, so you don't need to worry about that.
Yep.
You are.
And you knew there was one in hand as well.
But I also think it might have been potentially greedy because even not knowing about Glorybringer, there are haste threats in that deck like Hellion. If she'd have just gone land, say, Hellion plus another haste creature or something, or then Cedric was dead that way as well. I can see the argument for racing, but I think
Yeah, I think that's what lost it there.
I think so. I think Shalai should have been left back, but it's very easy to.
Although, yeah, it's easy to say, but also if he did leave back, he would have been dead to the Glorybringer because he would have had to block anyway.
But he trades with the
But he
Glorybringer.
trades, but then the lightning strike in hand kills him next turn.
That's true. That's a good point. So maybe he felt that he needed to race in that case.
So knowing these sideboards, I know Cedric's probably going to be bringing in Sealaways,
Yep,
Settle the Wreckage,
makes sense.
Dusk to Dawn. There's a potential.
Ooh, also a very powerful card. Yeah,
Because
interesting.
all your tokens are 1/1s.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, you can kill a Banalish Marshal, but
that's
which
that,
I have sometimes.
That's worth trading your opponent's board
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Losing your Banana Marshal.
Yes. Linda probably brings in Chandras to help deal with Shalai.
Shalai is a big problem.
Extra
for
way
her.
to deal 4 damage.
Okay, interesting. And
Potentially.
brings out things like the Serpopards, not
Yeah,
particularly
Serpopards
relevant.
don't
Sam
need it.
Cook 1-2-0.
And Sam
Sweet.
Cook has won 2-0.
Sam
beating
Cook-
Ben Camsell.
Absolutely, very well done to you, Sam. That is our first result of this round. So, interesting. I think so. That's the 2 scariest cards then for Linda. Obviously, Appeal to Authority, which is your main way of winning the game.
Yeah.
Very quickly, and Shalai, which, as we just saw, lets you grind out
Yep.
for a long period of time. And Linda's burn spells don't just easily kill that Shalai.
No, especially after it starts picking up. Oh, she brings in another insult.
Interesting. Very interesting indeed.
And I think I saw 2 Chandras there.
Okay, that makes sense. Insult to Injury. Well, it's her pet card. She absolutely loves it.
If she's going to win an FNM, she wants to win it off the back of an insult. I know that for a fact.
She's in a very, very strong position at the moment. She's 1-0 up in the final round. I think insult to injury. Now the second half of that, the injury side of that. So we know the insult side doubles the damage.
Yep. In second half, deals 2 damage to target creature and 2 damage to your opponent. Obviously, if you've cast it straight after insult, it's 4 and 4.
But is that the 2 damage to your opponent, does that target your opponent, or is that to each opponent, or is that to opponent who controls the creature, or it's
Yes, it's a target.
okay? So that still stops. Shall I? You can't target a play. You can't. You can only target yourself then if you cast it on a Shalai.
Yep.
Interesting, because that could be relevant with a Shalai on the field, and she casts an insult, then an injury. She'd have to kill the Shalai.
And do the 4 damage to herself.
Absolutely, that could be interesting.
Maybe that's a... Yeah.
A worthwhile trade, though, I think, generally. Killing off a
I'd take
Shalai.
4 life for a Shalai.
Yeah, I think so. So would I. Almost like a dismember, that kind of effect. Pay 4 life, kill a creature.
Yep. It's the card you take out first when you play against my burn deck in Modern.
It absolutely is.
I am not losing life.
I do not want to give you a free Boros charm.
Oh,
Thank
come
you.
on.
I think.
I need all the help I can get, George.
So do you feel quite satisfied when your opponent goes fetch, into shock, into Thoughtseize, and they've just dealt themselves 5 damage?
Yeah. But then they take something that I want to keep, maybe. But
Yeah, but they still dealt themselves 5 damage, which
yeah,
is better than any other
it's
spell you've
excellent.
got.
It's excellent.
Yes. Or you play Mountain Goblin Guide and they go fetch, shock, dismember.
Excellent. Please do.
I'll deal 7 to myself.
Yep. That's fine. I'll take that for 1 mana.
No, my sideboarding strategy is very easy for Burn in Modern. That is, take out all the cards that say you lose life,
Yeah.
like Dismember, and bring in all the cards that say you gain life, like Kitchen
Oh, it's
Finks.
like common sense.
Almost.
Yeah.
No, it's a
Oh, I saw Banalish Marshal there, I think.
interesting.
Do we have 2 7 card hands?
It would be nice to see. Both of them did mulligan 6 in the last
Which
game.
I guess makes it fair.
Absolutely. Linda managed to get there. Both
Tranquil
players keeping
Expanse,
7.
turn 1.
Both players keeping 7 card hands. That's good to see. I see. So cards like Goblin Chain Whirler, triple red on one side.
Yeah.
Cards like Banana Marshal, triple white on the other side.
Hey, Wilmot.
That demonstrates the need for these boring tap.
I do have the
dual
only
colours.
single Tranquil Expanse just to give me that.
Yeah,
Just so I can have 9 sources of jewel.
like it.
Because green is so important for me because I need to be able to cast Appeal.
Yeah.
But white is so important because I want my Banana Marshal. Damn it!
Sapling Migration is good against Bowmat Courier. Bowmat Courier now looking quite weak.
Yep. Unless she wants to sacrifice 5
Looks
cards
like
for 2.
That looked like a Chandra off the top. That would be a good card eventually, but not right this second, obviously. I think the dream for Linda really is that she's got something like a Voltaic Brawler here into a Chain Whirler. It's always a Chain Whirler.
It's always Chain Whirler.
And then she
Unless
can start
Banana
smashing
Marshal
again.
comes out. Stop making me say Banana Marshal, George.
It's definitely called Banana Marshal.
Well, we know we can't see a turn 3 Chain Whirler.
That's true. A basic forest does stop that from happening. I suppose that's an interesting way. Normally you'd want to kind of fix your colours in 2 colour decks by
Yeah.
playing one source then the next, then kind of mix and matching. I suppose in this deck, unless she's got specifically wants to spend green mana this turn, you kind of want to drop as many red sources early as you can. don't
Unless,
you?
of course, that's the only option she's got.
And
Or
they-
she wanted to play a Carbu because they block the tokens quite well. And Cedric, of course, not having any idea what that card is because it doesn't see play anywhere.
Cedric obviously not drafting very much. Because
I
of
guess,
5/5 Vigilance Trample
Yes,
quite easily.
it has killed me in draft on Arena a few times.
Absolutely. So, deciding she might want to trade against one of these saplings.
She knows the power of appeal.
Cedric actually having to think very carefully. He's not going to take it. I think that's very sensible from both players.
Because
There.
I think we've got a Banana Marshal. Damn it, a Banalish Marshal coming down.
If Cedric's got the 3rd white source, which
Yep.
he does, Cedric's mana quite nicely
I
fixed.
believe
at the
there
moment.
are 18 white sources in this deck.
No, that's just a pass straight back to Linda. Maybe you
So,
didn't see Benelish Marshall.
Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's a charge. Maybe he's holding up a charge to trade.
Not the most exciting play. I think I'd rather just play.
He's-
Banana Marshal
he's not going to play a seal away on one of these cards, is he?
No, I don't think so. I think
He's no settle available.
maybe you were wrong with your
Maybe I was wrong.
spot of Banana Marshal then, because I think
If
you
you had
would
it,
have.
if you had it, you'd have played it.
Yeah,
No question about it.
you want to advance your board.
Because I've not got any instant source token makers in that deck.
Okay,
Trigger.
Linda. again, I like these attacks from Linda, and I actually like this not blocking from Cedric as well. It's very rare that a Bomat Courier is coming at you when you've got blockers and you choose not to block it.
But at some point it's going to get out of hand.
Are we going to find another Shalai here? It did almost win the game for Cedric last game.
Would you, in response, lightning bolt Cedric if you had one? Lightning strike?
Oh, no.
If he plays a Shalai?
I would probably, in response, kill a Saproleng. If I had the ability to. No, I definitely wouldn't. I would hold up for the lightning strike in case
he
Cedric
blocks. Yeah.
Maybe if you had 2 copies, you might kill off one of the Saprolengs. No, you'd just kill the Shalai with both lightning strikes on your next turn.
Or double shock.
Yeah.
Unless you took shock out, but I wouldn't take shock out against the stick.
No, there's too many cheap creatures to kill.
Especially that 1/1 cat. Do we see Shalai? Or a Shrams? I think it's a Shrams. My only foil Shrams.
Is Cedric going to get a free... Maybe he wanted the benefit of the free Benelish Marshal.
But then still I would have rather have had a Benelish Marshal earlier. To ward off those attacks, and then you could trade. Well, you wouldn't trade, you would eat the Bomat. Is he not playing anything for free?
This appears to be the second...
Legion's Landing for free.
Not the most exciting of cards, but it is still value.
If we see a red source and a Chain Whirler next turn...
then I think that's almost game on the spot, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, I can't imagine Cedric coming back from 1, 2, 3, losing 6 creatures to a Chain Whirler. I mean, you must have been in that position before, losing 6 creatures. Or that.
7 was my record against Sam.
7,
Yes.
outrageous.
Thanks, Sam Points. He scried Lightning Strike
to the face.
Yep.
Maybe this is Chain Whirler, and then you start getting aggressive with your creatures.
So he scried he multi 6. He scried a Chain Whirler to the top. Attacked with Benalish Marshal turn 1. Knew it was there. Finally decided to cash in that Bomat Courier, knowing full well that Chain Whirler was under there.
Linda's
we do have 3 red sources. This will be game, I believe.
If it is a Chain Whirler, but she's not.
No.
Chandra, maybe?
Yeah.
Not the most exciting board to be facing down. I mean, Chandra dies to all these tokens.
But leaves him open to the crackback, I guess.
Not any overly exciting crackback, though. Only 3 points of damage.
Now, does she want to... Yep. Exiled? There's nothing that brings it back anyway, I guess.
We're only at Friday Night Magic here,
and
there's nothing that affects Linda's graveyard, so we'll not bother correcting her on that for the time being. Obviously, if
I can see an appeal and an authority being played next turn.
That sounds...
Which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6...
It's not lethal.
12, 13 damage, and he has the possibility of gaining 7 life.
Not quite lethal, though.
But they gain vigilance.
Oof, that
if
is
he
difficult.
appeals and authorities. Or he's got a hash. He's got the. Has he got the other Oasis?
No, just Hashep Oasis. I suppose that's more powerful in combination with the double striking cat, isn't it? The
Yes.
Oasis. You're not really going to use that on a token.
I've only got the 1 Oasis. Looks like he's.
Oof, there's
appealing.
the appeal. Targeting a
I would definitely target the
lifelink vampire.
Yes. Oh, I love this card so much.
Just counting up exactly how many creatures he's got.
So it's a 7/7 lifelink trampler.
Is he going to flash back the other half?
I would.
Maybe a second copy of Appeal to Authority. No. He's flashing back the other half from the looks of things.
Yep.
Tapping down Linda's creatures. And getting you for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 7 is 30. Ouch, and gaining 7 points of life. Making that
and flipping the Legion's Landing.
Making that lightning strike to the face looking quite sad, because I mean, I know she held up a Chandra this turn.
Authority definitely needs to be exiled.
Yes. Interesting. So
they are vigilant, of course, which he may not have realised.
So Cedric has declared his attacks. Do you want to go and confirm to the players that those creatures do in fact have vigilance and therefore do remain untapped? There we go. Cedric untapping his creatures. There we go. All done.
So in that case, if he knew that beforehand, he may well have actually attacked with the other 2 tokens.
He almost certainly would have.
Because he
I
probably
imagine.
kept them just for
Defensive purposes.
So it looks like
What
he
gets
didn't go
Linda
for
out
face.
of this?
He didn't go for face.
Chainwhirler.
Chainwhirler's the only thing.
It's the only thing now that Linda can really do to get herself back into this.
Also, Legion's Landing did flip as well there.
Is that a may or is it a must?
It's a must.
Okay, interesting. So I would also confirm that with Cedric. Now Linda lining up 3 red sources. This looks like it could be a Chainwhirler. There we go. So we've just corrected that. Legion's Landing has in fact successfully flipped. Linda tapping 3 red mana. Is it what we think it is? Oh,
Insult.
Insult to injury. Not quite what we were hoping for here.
No, but Kabu does have trample, I guess, but that doesn't quite do much.
So this doubles the damage of everything?
Yep.
Of the Linda controls. So that's 4, 5... That's only 6 damage. That's not overly exciting right now, is it?
Still going for it. Vigilance on the
And
Kabu.
that also has Vigilance. So these players missing Vigilance over and over again,
Yeah.
apparently.
I guess I need to go tell her that as well.
I think, yes, you might have to just go and confirm that with those players as well, that the Carvo itself does in
I
fact
guess
have
it's
Vigilance.
quite a linchpin point of the game, so
It is, absolutely. These creatures having Vigilance is very relevant to this board state. So, Cedric taking 6 damage. That doesn't even undo the lifelink from last turn.
no.
Ooh.
Oh,
She's going to use that to deal
So-
4 more damage.
yep. So now that gets rid of the.
That still doesn't do that much to Cedric at the moment. Not... I mean,
But he did already declare no blockers, correct?
yes, correct.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8, 9, 10 damage this turn.
That's a lot of damage. She does also leave out the ability to sacrifice the Bowmat Courier.
4 cards.
It does sound quite
Could be a chain roller
tempting.
under there. There could be a chain roller under there.
I still think Linda's in a very weak position. I think a Chainwhirler is what she needs to turn this game around.
Yeah.
Cedric, on the other hand, doing extraordinarily well. The board of 6 1/1s doesn't look
She's
that
cashing
amazing.
it in now.
Yep.
I would have held up a shock bluff. Oh, she's got struggle. Struggle to survive. That would also have dealt with Shall I?
Yes, it
Deal
would
damage
have.
equal to the number of lands you have.
I too probably would have held up the...
Shock bluff.
Well, also, next turn you can attack with Bowmat Courier, get 1 more card under it,
Unless
and then
she
sack it.
literally wants a chain roller now. Before
But-
he gets the banana marshal.
I mean, there's no reason why she would need to sack it now rather than beginning her first main phase next turn.
Does she have 4 red sources? Yeah, she does have 4 red sources. Yeah, you're right.
So, interesting. So, she's gone through a lot of cards in her deck. There's a reasonable chance of there being a Banana Marshal on... a Chain Whirler under that Bowmat Courier. So,
Oh, but if there's a banana marshal... Stop it! If there's a banana marshal here, that looks like a Shalai, potentially.
this looks like it's a
Shalai
Shalai.
doesn't stop a chain roller.
It does not. So, Linda in a very precarious position.
Has he just passed? He has just passed. I would have chipped in for some.
I mean, I definitely would have attacked through that 2-2.
Do we see a chain roller? Ah, too fast. Chain roller into a charge, though, will be sad.
Yes, that's
From
true.
Linda's point of
Cedric probably does have a number of ways. Pride of Conquerors,
He's holding up 2 mana.
Heroic Intervention.
He could. Yep, he does have heroic intervention. But
A lot of ways to answer a Chain Whirler, but I still think it's probably Linda's best way out at this point. But she's not lining a mana for that, so what's she got here?
roller
Okay, filling the board up probably does help somewhat.
into chain roller.
Or maybe another Chandra, kill the Shalai.
That would be good.
What else for 4 mana could Linda have?
She does have
3.
injury, so the other side of.
3 mana Chain Whirler? Is she just teasing the Chain Whirler?
Oh, she better not be.
That's 3 red sources.
Oh,
That is a chain wallet. She was teasing.
Do we have a response from Cedric?
She was just teasing. Does Cedric have a way to stop this 1 damage?
I mean, this is the absolute Achilles heel of this deck. If there's a charge or a Pride of Conquerors in hand, Linda pointing out the obvious, these will all die.
I imagine if Cedric had a response, it would be a snap response. I don't think he would be thinking about it so hard. Because bear in mind, if Cedric got to untap even once, he could pump with Shalai and save them all permanently.
Correct.
This was the only turn that Linda had in
Correct.
order to draw the chain
He
whirler.
has no, this is the problem with my deck.
Oof. And that leaves now, she can... Oh, she can't attack with the Carvu
no.
yet. Wow. And that leaves...
Wow.
Talk about advantage bar swings. We went from strongly in Cedric's favour.
To vroom the other way.
Absolutely.
Linda looking at the other side.
Vandervoom. Very well done there, Linda. A bit of a teasing play, dropping that Voltaic Brawler first.
Did that for the camera, I'm sure.
Oh, that was... So now what do you need? Shram's expertise
Shram's
into Banana
expertise.
Marshall?
Well, Shram's expertise into a servo expedition.
Yeah,
Or
something...
But then into another chain whirler.
That's true, because look, I mean...
Aegis landing is a good start, I guess.
Is it? He's... Well, I suppose Linda can't attack into that Shalai. The Shalai kills anything she wants to attack with.
Well, the brawler can turn into a 4/3 trampler.
That's true. Very true, okay.
And she does have the other side of insult, where she can do 2 damage to Shalai pre-combat phase.
Interesting.
But she has to take the 2 damage to
Or
herself.
post.
Or post.
Wait till Cedric blocks. Maybe he's not seen the other side of insult to injury in the graveyard. Forgets about it, maybe.
What do we see here from Linda?
Oof, Cedric. That was unfortunate.
Yep, looks like. I believe they may not realise that 2 damage has to go to Linda here, though. If she does do it. We'll soon find out.
Of course, if Linda doesn't see that, she has the choice not to cast it because you need 2 valid targets.
True.
If she selects one that isn't a valid target, then she can't successfully cast the spell. So she would have to know that she has to target herself in order to be able to successfully cast
So
that
she
spell.
cycled the Sheltered Thicket into a Rootbound Crag. Or she's played the Rootbound Crag. Is this a Glory Bringer? This is a Glory Bringer. This is game.
Unless Cedric has settle the wreckage.
Ooh, he is holding up. Looks like Linda's playing around that, perhaps.
She's holding back 2 creatures. This could be Linda playing around settle the wreckage. I like the pump on the brawler there.
Yep.
I mean, she's getting past the Shalai anyway with the Exert on the Glorybringer.
Yep.
Maybe a Seal Away?
Yeah, Seal Away is in the deck. Probably post board now.
Interesting.
Is she oh, no! She may have forgotten about Settle.
Goodness me, that will be quite... Alex, someone else just helping from the side there, remembering...
She is exerting.
Does
Killing
Cedric have the Settle the Wreckage?
Shalai's the only target.
I mean, if Cedric does have Settle the Wreckage, all we essentially do is we just reset.
Yeah, but Linda has loads of lands then. And then she'll just draw gas.
But Cedric has got the Odonto.
Yes.
So Cedric
But
does
Linda
have...
is much more likely to just draw gas then. Is she exerting onto the Shalai?
She has turned it upside down, so it's likely that she has.
So she's exerting on Shalai to kill Shalai.
Yeah.
Can Cedric cast a Seal Away, the
Yeah,
2/3?
the trigger's already on the stack.
But the trigger's on the stack.
He can seal away Shalai, but Shalai will still die.
No, not Shalai, the goblin.
dragon.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
the dragon.
Shalai will still die.
Dragon, yes. That is what happens. That is the way that works. He can seal away the Glorybringer, which is tapped. It's upside down to indicate exerted.
Yep.
But Shalai still dies. I think that's what they were just checking.
Yep.
Yes, the trigger's still there. The 4 damage still takes place. I think if you're Cedric, you still have to seal away something here.
Would you seal away the dragon knowing it's not going to attack next turn?
It depends what the rest of your hand is. If you
I
haven't
guess
got
you can chump block
Chain
stuff on the
Whirler.
floor for days if he gets...
Cedric will need to tap mana for that.
He did. He's tapped the Hashep Oasis and the
I
Blades.
see. So he still doesn't have. He doesn't have the ability to activate Adonto. If he could, he
No.
could double block the Brawler with the.
Correct.
That's
Well-
unfortunate.
The Brawler did get 4-3
Oh.
trample.
You're right.
I think this is firmly Linda's game to lose.
Ouch. That's really difficult for her, for Cedric. We could be seeing. We
she's
could be
just,
seeing.
she's just pointing out to Cedric that it does have trample. So if you block the Chain Whirler, you're not going to gain the life because of the first strike.
But you prevent 3 damage, so you're better off blocking the Chain Whirler overall here. Which means I think Cedric's dead
I
if
suppose
he's at
if
3 life.
If you block the Carvu, you're also technically preventing 3 damage by gaining 1 and preventing the 2.
Yes.
So either way, he's taking 6 or 7.
He will be getting. She will be getting through with the Brawler. That's pretty certain. Yeah, so it's going to be 6 damage coming through. It looks like Cedric is potentially at 6 life. I think these players are just adding up whether or not this is in fact lethal, whether or not there's any way Cedric can block and still survive. We could be witnessing Linda's very first Friday Night Magic win.
I'm not nervous at all, and I'm not being biased at all.
That is a handshake. We have just seen Linda win her very first Friday Night Magic.
Well done, Linda.
With a deck of her own
Yeah, she loves it.
design. Very well done to Linda. We're seeing round of applause from.
She looks
the floor.
ecstatic.
Players both drawing lands the following turn. Nothing else. No cards in hand for either player.
So that Chain Whirler did it, huh?
I mean,
the Chain Whirler's...
wow, that was truly quite incredible. Goodness me.
It was good games, though.
Those were very good games. From the looks of it,
Very swingy.
it seemed like Alex Pegler had finished his game. Would
Yes,
you mind asking
I
him for his
will.
results?
I will.
Wow, so that was quite the nail biter there right at the end. Linda just managing to find the Chain Whirler, the exact turn she needed it in order to be able to survive that board of tokens. One more turn. If Cedric had been able to untap, Shalai would have been able to activate, put a counter on everything, and the Chain Whirler would not have done it. That was quite the nail biter. Wow. And once again, Linda wins her very first Friday Night Magic. We're all very pleased to see that. It's hard to be unbiased. It's nice to see someone win for the very first time. Cedric has won Friday Night Magic before. In fact, he's won more than one time. So it's nice to see someone who hasn't won before take her first victory. I've just sent Kevin out to report back on some other scores that we may have.
So we have 2 results.
Our results are
Pegler has won 2-0.
Alex Pegler wins 2-0.
And Rick has won 2-1.
Very well done to Rick as well. So we're
Zombies
just
taking out some vampires.
we are just waiting on Matt Perry versus Justin, and we ought to find some prizes at some point to hand out as well.
Woo, Linda!
Absolutely, well done, Linda. So we have less than a minute now left in the round, our final round of the night.
Oh, I didn't tell him about time.
So if you just want to hang around
Should I
for
just shout time? Yeah,
30 more seconds.
yeah, it's probably easier, isn't it?
Well, we did have players miss that result last time, so do you want to just go around and make sure that table does start with turn 0 as soon as they pass the turn?
Right.
30
people
odd
missed
seconds.
that result last time.
Well, they missed the fact that it was time last turn. They kept playing.
Oh.
They weren't alert, or they did not hear it when time was called. So, Linda here just picking through her deck. We are seeing,
This is the last time she gets to play this deck.
and we're seeing the victor's deck in full: Chain Whirlers, Blossoming Defences, Chandras,
I think that
Hazarets.
was probably the right sideboard decision there. A light sideboard. Struggles gives you an extra option against.
Shall I?
She took the shocks out.
I think that's. I don't hate the idea that you're not going to win the game by spending a whole card to kill one token.
Yeah, I suppose. You're
and-
not killing the Banalish Marshal with it, although you will kill Cat. But
Yes, but
she kept the circle cards in, unless she's already put them back in.
she may very well be putting them back in, because I think,
Interesting.
yes, very interesting if that is the case. We're not 100% certain whether or not it is. But whether or not it was, there we go, time on the round. So we're just going to confirm that to our last table, which is Matt Perry versus Justin Denham. We're going to get those results, but Linda wins 2-0 to win her first ever Friday Night Magic. Well done, Linda. And Kevin, you just confirmed we have time on the round. We're going to get our pairings, our final standings, I should say. That's it. We're at the end of Friday Night Magic for tonight. Linda van der Veen wins her first ever with undefeated record of 4-0. And we ought to find some prizes for these, or to get some promos. Our final result, we're just waiting for.
Matt has been made aware, and I forgot his opponent, Justin.
Yes.
They've been made aware.
So they are aware that it is time on the round now. They've got five additional turns to finish that game. Matt already has one draw, I believe, today, so it could very well be a second draw for him if this doesn't go to...
He is playing as Muldrotha deck, which is quite complicated with deciding what you want to bring back.
It's not just
Constantly.
complicated, but it's also very grindy.
Yes.
It takes a long time to win these games. There's no quick and easy win. There's no appeal to authority just to win you the game. There's no glory bringer just to slam your opponent in the face and kill their Shalai and win the game. You have to grind out value slowly over a number of turns. So it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that it does take a little bit longer to get going.
Well, I guess we'll have results soon.
We will, and that's it. Then we'll have final standings for you, and then we'll go and hand out some prizes.
Indeed. I think we had 4 very good games.
They were very good games. That last game, I think, obviously the most exciting.
Yeah.
I know it was a 2-0 win to Linda, but it felt very close.
It did not, yeah.
It felt like Cedric was winning the whole time, right up until the point where Linda actually won the game.
With the chain welder.
Out of nowhere.
We thought he had the settle in hand as well.
Yeah, we
I
thought
would've
Linda
done
was
it.
playing in settle, but he didn't have it. And like I said earlier, Linda had to get a chain while of that turn, otherwise Shalai activates and
then-
turns that off.
And then, yeah, that's it.
There's no way to win with 6
She had a
2-2s.
1-turn window.
She found it.
And after speaking to her, she said the chain welder was indeed under the bowmat.
Oh, goodness me. Well, she had, 5 cards under that Bowmat card? She had 5 looks
Yeah.
at it, plus the draw for the turn. So she did have a reasonable chance of finding one, but still, she played to the one card that she knew she could get her out of this.
Yes, it's the game winner.
Absolutely, and she did extraordinarily well to get there.
Shame. So I believe there's 9 maybe 10 cards post board dedicated to anti-chain welder.
It didn't seem like Cedric found even one of them.
No.
That's very
You
unfortunate.
want if you count Shalai technically in a way being anti-chain welder, but so then that makes
Eventually
it
very
but
slowly.
that makes it 13 answers. So there's two charges, 4 prides, and 4 banalish marshals.
Oof, that is really tough. He didn't manage to
Not
find
seeing
a single one.
any one of them would have, and I think Cedric would have won that game.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, Cedric also was 3 wins, no losses up to this point.
Yep.
This is, I believe, the first time he faced
Played
a
a red
chain
deck,
welder
yeah.
deck today. So it just shows you the power when you don't have to face up against that card. So that's extraordinary, fantastic. So I think we're just gonna a minute or so longer just to get this last result, and then we're gonna say goodnight to everyone. Just see if we can wait for that.
It's been a good one.
It has. Have you enjoyed coming
Yes,
up here
very
and
much so.
commentating?
Very much so. Quite enjoyed it.
Fancy doing it again?
I'd love to.
Fancy joining me to play for some arena on stream at some point?
Yes, correct. That
Sweet.
would be good.
Mondays, I stream arena on
I
Mondays.
can't do it on Monday. I'm away next week, sadly.
Well, arena's off next Monday, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, it's going into open beta.
So maybe the following Monday, if you happen to be around.
Yes,
I'd
I
be more
definitely
than
will
happy
be.
to welcome you down to play with me. Actually, that'll probably be the best time to come and stream with me because my collection will be entirely wiped. We'll have a billion gems to spend.
You do have a slight advantage as having a closed beta account because you start with
sweet
Ral
Planeswalkers.
with the Masterpiece Planeswalkers.
That's
so
fantastic.
you can show off a Teferi.
Oh, very nice.
I mean, you won't have any of the other pieces to play any of the deck, but you'll still have a shiny Teferi.
But I will have an outrageous amount of
And they
gems.
do standard rotate on the 27th.
Okay,
So
interesting.
they're rotating on Arena
Yeah.
earlier than in paper.
Oh, okay. Does that mean we get the Ravnica cards earlier?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting.
And I believe you could draft.
So I think what we'll have to do is I'm not going to spend
Draft replica?
my gems just cracking packs.
No.
I'm going to spend my gems doing draft after draft after draft, get the most cards we possibly can out of it. So
Yep.
fancy joining me for some drafts?
Plus, that gives you a couple of days to before the pre-release, I guess.
to sharpen up on what the on the cards, see if they're any good. Sweet. So do you fancy doing that
Yes,
with me?
definitely.
Awesome. That sounds brilliant. So I'm going to get Rob on Sunday maybe.
Oh no, that is still next week. I am still away next week. Because 24th is the Monday. And so the 27th when it goes live, because pre-release is the 29th. So it goes live on the Thursday. Pre-release is on the Friday night.
Well, yes, but what about the Monday after that?
Well, yes, but then it would have been still out in paper. We can't do the advantage thing, but I'm still happy to be there.
Well, that would be the first Monday after the beta is back open again.
Correct.
So that'll be the first time I'll be streaming.
Oh,
after...
we can stream at your place with your 0.3 megabytes connection.
Oh, yes, I have a very extraordinarily bad internet
What are we in the
connection.
90s?
So I think we're going to call it there.
We'll put the standings on Facebook, I guess.
We can put the
Or we
standings
can put
up
it
on
as a comment
Facebook.
here, or we can tell you now, depending on Matt.
We just need
So
Matt.
if Matt wins, he could go up to 4th.
If Matt wins, then he would be at 4
Fourth.
wins, a loss and a draw. So he would be in.
Well, no, not 4 wins. 3 wins.
Yeah, sorry, 3 wins, a loss and a draw.
How's he only got?
Oh yes, he's played 3. He's at 1 win, 1 draw
Oh, and
at
one
the
loss,
moment, so
obviously.
1 loss. So he could jump to 6.
Well, he can get 3 points and go to 7.
Oh yeah, you're right. He
And
could.
then so he'll be
So he
4th.
does end in 4th place. So that is a possibility.
If
for Matt.
Justin wins, depending on tiebreakers, he'll be anywhere between 4th and 7th.
Based on the fact that he's been, I imagine he would probably be down towards the 7 end because
Well, tiebreakers are
his opponent's match win percentage is actually
quite
looking
high.
pretty good. So he could
the second
very well
highest out
jump
of
to the top of the
sixes.
6s. But that depends on who's he playing against now.
Well, he's playing against Matt.
Yes, so Matt, obviously, opponent's win match percentage is not particularly high of Matt.
Yeah.
So that will reduce his breakers down. So,
Go back a second.
do you want to head out and...
Game win percent. Linda
Linda
has won 8-0 tonight.
Linda has won every single game she's played tonight. That
Excellent.
not beyond...
Not just winning your first FNM, destroying your first.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll go find out if there's a result.
Thank you. So we're just going to find out finally if there is a result for this last game. I imagine, based on the fact it's taking so long, it could very well be a 1-0 win or even a draw 1-1. So we'll just find out and report that back to you. So let's see. We're just waiting for Kevin to come back. He's going to find out from Matt and from Justin what they ended on. Time was called quite some time ago, so they must have finished their turns by now. And I'm very much looking forward to New Ravnica, because of course the pre-release is next weekend. Like I said, hoping to open some Shocklands.
I believe they were on turn 4.
They were on turn 4, so they
3
are
or
in
4
fact
extra turns.
they are in fact still going then.
Yes.
Wow.
Definitely, Matt was counting things and looking. I think he fetched something from his. Well, it wasn't a fetch land, but you know what I mean.
Yes, something
He
from his
looking,
graveyard.
He was looking through his
with
library or
Muldrotha.
graveyard. I did
Okay.
not see a Muldrotha. I saw a Vraska.
Okay, interesting. It's a fantastic deck. I think it's brilliant.
He was on stream a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
It was. We did see Matt's Muldrotha deck do quite well. So did I?
That 1-2-1.
And there we go. As a result, Matt wins 2-1,
A final result 2-1 to Matt
which means
Perry.
Matt does jump to 4th.
So we will just print off those standings.
Down one.
and we will just report to you before even the players find out. So, in reverse order, we have Ben Camps on 11th, Justin Denham in 10th, Oliver Pass in 9th, Sam Cook in 8th, Luke McKean in 7th, Rob Winterflood in 6th, Rick Eagleston in 5th, Matt Perry in 4th, and then we get to our top 3. In 3rd place, we have Alex Pegler, Cedric Yin in 2nd, and finally, the winner of FNM for her first ever win, Linda van der Veen. Very well done. This has been me, George.
And me, Kevin.
Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next week for some more Friday Night Magic streaming, and potentially during the week for some Magic Arena, so join us then. Thanks very much, everyone.
See ya.